APC in Rivers State. The two legislative chambers, that's the Senate
Nigeria's cold, oh bad to serve our fatherland in love and strength and faith, oh yeah. The labor our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom. Peace and unity. Oh God of creation, direct our noble cause. Lead us right, help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. To build a nation where
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm glad to see you all here today. Yeah, we are going to be covering. Let me welcome the people on the stage yet. There's Femi. Thank you for joining us, Femi. You're the first. I don't know where you got the link from. Femi has got in connections somewhere. I don't know. He was the first to be here. And there is Tony. Thank you for joining us, Tony. And Mr. James, thank you for joining us, Mr. James, all the way from this in Gambia, and of course, Mr. Rofo is here. Mr. Rofo from Uzo. Uzo, thank you for joining us, Uzo. Let's carry on from where we stopped with the River State wahala that is going on in the country. But we are going to be moving from there because we have 3 hours to go through some topics. We're going to be moving from there to that of Trump, Atiku, and El-Rufai. You know, they are beginning to form gangs now to try to topple this government. So it will be interesting conversation, and obviously this is have your say / truth. We have to be chasing a kind of objective truth here, not personal truth. Right? In other words, we have to come to an agreement to an extent on what is actually going on here, because it's not black and white. There are people that support one side, there are people that support the other side. Let's try to reason, because I think that's part to actually getting the good out for our people. That's how I look at it anyway. So welcome, Femi. What do you make of this issue with the River State emergency declaration that has occurred? I was surprised myself. I'm sure a lot of people were surprised that, because we know that there's a lot of problems in the country, so many parts, no parts, they have not declared emergency, this is state of emergency. And somehow a governor was suspended, House of Assembly was suspended. You see how useless our politicians are? Because when fire come, everybody disappear. All those House of Assembly that has been causing trouble all this while, where are they now? They've gone, no? They see gone, all of them disappear. You hear people? This is the truth of life. We have they say the fire yansh don't open now. You see them now, all of them vanish. All the noise goes away. And this is what it could happen to our entire democracy if this politicians carry on this way. What do you make of the president's pronouncement? Do you think he's justified to do it like one man tried to do just now, justify his actions?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So first of all, I want to say something to Mr. Tony. I don't know if you're AI in 2 dimensions, but it's all good. But anyways, I look forward to hearing Mr. James's intervention here, and the reasons being that it's often said that there's a way we always have a tendency as humans to repeat the mistakes if you don't learn from the past. This is history repeating itself, but in a different and more dangerous form. And I tend to draw a parallel between, and it's not even funny, a parallel between Tinubu and Trump on one hand, and then Elon Musk and Wike. This is the way I think about these things now. And we should not forget that although it is Tinubu there today, there's going to come a time, there's going to be another person that's going to be there. And whoever is on the side of whatever Tinubu said, like there's nothing he can do that can be wrong right now. Whenever he jumps to the other side and you are at the disadvantage, especially with this ethno-religious bigotry that we like to practice, do not complain then. And it's very instructive to note that you cannot be doing blatant things because you think there's nothing anybody can do, forgetting that this power and this life that we live in, again, is only transient, it's only for a while. After all, where are those that were there yesterday? I am not saying this to act as if there's any perfection in humans, but if you are going to lay the same sledgehammer on River State, then what do you say about all that shenanigan that was going on in Lagos State, where you're still more or less the godfather? How do you defend that? Anybody can come and try to rewrite the script and tell you, oh, there are 2 different situations. We like to do these things a lot. In fact, one of the things I loved about my moving to the West was when I went to college. There's a different thing when I went to college there, and that thing about critical thinking, a lot of the papers that we write, versus when you school back in Nigeria. Not to say that I didn't gain certain things from schooling in Nigeria as well. But one of the things I quickly realized was that even for things that you do not like or with people that you disagree, it's always a good thing if you can go back and ruminate over even the other side and try to make sense out of it. Try as much as possible to put your bias out of the way. I know it's difficult, but it can be done. Now, maybe if I should summarize, the lesson I'm drawing from this is that, again, because we are people that do not learn, or we forget easily, or we just choose to overlook when things are in our favor, I see comments where people try to defend what they cannot defend. Again, which bring me back to someone like Otitoju, the guy with TVC, who in a way, I still admire because the guy, I cannot deny the fact that he's cerebral. But you see, it's it's difficult when you're in a compromising position and you try to make sense of things, and then you forget that there's things that you said in the past that people go to dig out, especially in this day of an age of the internet. Well, maybe finally, just to add another line
Sorry,
as well.
about the little Jew. I
Yeah,
think you are referring to Jide,
Jide,
the journalist.
right.
So what precisely did he say that was contradictory? Because I gather that some people were accusing him of that, but I wasn't very clear. So what was it?
So apparently, if you recall that during Jonathan's time, that's even if you don't want to go as far back as what's it called, Obasanjo's time. Recall that there went people during the week, especially they started digging out past videos of what Tinubu had said in response to Jonathan when he instituted a state of emergency. I can't remember which of the states now. But the one difference, though, to be fair, though, I mean, to be honest, if one is being truthful, the one difference between what happened then and now was I do not recall that the governor was actually asked to go on suspension for 6 months. And you know where it, but then and then with respect to Osuju specifically now, just to answer your question, there's a way he tried to like quote. In fact, I think I've not listened to his rebuttal when, in response to people that were criticizing him. There's a way he tried to caveat it as, you know. Actually, first of all, I'm going ahead of myself. First of all, apparently he didn't realize that people were going to go dig out what he said then, versus what he's saying now, because he's more forceful now, and I understand why. Because of course he works with TVC, which belongs to Tinubu. You know, he was so much forceful to the point where he tried to overlook the fact that even in the speech of Tinubu, he wasn't speaking to the truth to all of what was going on. Everybody keeps mentioning Fubara, but then you make it look as if what's happening is between Fubara and the lawmakers. Meanwhile, you're leaving Wike, who you intentionally brought into your government for a specific
Yeah, but
asset job.
to be fair to Jide, I saw a video of him saying he didn't say anything that was contradictory. That
Okay.
he says he doesn't support the suspension of Fubara himself.
Okay.
He says he doesn't support the suspension of the House of Assembly.
Mhm.
But he's not very clear on the security case too. I think he actually argued
No, but okay,
against it.
but for fathers, there was, but even he himself, this is where I have a problem with him. See, I still respect this guy, but sometimes I have a problem with
I have
some
a lot of
things.
problems with him, but we have to
See,
try to
you see,
be honest about
yeah,
things.
okay. So if you want to be honest, then he was repeating the same thing. I've seen a lot of people that are defending this thing I still call rubbish, where you keep talking to. So I'm not even trying to defend football because again, to me, politicians in Nigeria, you can't trust them, you know. But speaking to the situation, you keep talking about Fubara and the what Fubara has done. But then how do you defend Wike and Tinubu? The fact that Tinubu is not even mentioning, nobody is making reference to Wike. Meanwhile, you know that Wike is the instigator. After all, there are videos of him speaking about the fact that he was never going to intervene after he left office. But what is he doing today? I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. So what you're telling me, it's been often repeated, it's been repeated by several other people as well. What you're telling me is that what's happening in Borunu and several other states that have their own issues is not worthy of you doing the same thing that you just implemented in. I mean, forefathers, there's some things you can't make it make sense to people that think deeply about saying things. You're telling me there's no insecurities in other places that even nowhere near what's happening in Rivers that's actually politically motivated, as also intentional, because there's also an intention to take over that state by hook or crook. And do not mark my words, this thing is going to repeat itself in several other states that they choose. All they need to do is just decide that, okay, we want this other state. After all, even the APC chairman, you see what he's been saying. I mean, there's other states. Look at what's happening in Benue too. Do you realize there's something else going on in Benue as well? Why hasn't he got to the Benue governor? Is it because he's a APC? And again, I just dislike Nigerian politics. Again, it's only because right now it's APC. Who knows what's going to happen if SDP gets into power? They're all the same, you know. But again, just to reiterate one point, there's some things that are just indefensible if you just sit there and think about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tony, you are two of you here. This is kind of representation where you have two presents. How are we supposed to kill you now? Eh? Now you are second and you are fourth, and fifth or sixth. I don't know. Um,
Okay, take away the second one. I think what happened was that I went off and I came on. Yeah,
okay, let,
so
let me take away that one now
I
before that
beg,
one
beg.
goes.
I think
Okay,
that was
well,
what Femi was saying.
okay.
I'm
Let's sort
sorry
that
about
out.
that.
No, that's fine. Who was next? Were you next? Okay, you were next, if I'm not mistaken. Then Dexter. All right. So, what do you make of this? The actions of the president in suspending Wike, declaring state of emergency. There has been a lot of fights and killings in the Middle Belt, Northwest. Nothing has happened where they declared state of emergency. Suddenly, you go for something that, and from what I gather, the pipeline has been repaired. Whatever was damaged has been repaired, and we still don't know who did it. So, what is going on?
Uh, greetings, everybody. Uh, my lord, KJ. I can't see it clearly.
Your audio is a little bit shaky. I'm not sure why. You may want to watch your mic or something.
Uh, Sorry about that.
Mm,
Can you hear me now?
Better, better.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's crazy what's been happening. Suddenly, we have just left out all the talk about Natasha and so on, and here we are, talking about another crazy stuff happening in Nigeria. It's unfortunate, because if you look at what's been happening in our country, it doesn't make anybody feel happy. It's all the craziness. But to go straight to your issue, let me even first of all say that uh, the Justice Danagogo of the State High Court in Port Harcourt has granted an interim order, preventing the sole administrator from resuming his duties pending the determination of the substantial suit that was filed by former chief of staff of Fubara. I don't know if I will say he's wasting his time because the
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Because the guy is already assuming
it's
this thing.
already
They
working.
don't
So
listen to anybody.
So that will show you the confusion. Nobody listens. In fact, we're almost at the state of nature. We're just everybody just behaving anyhow. There's nothing, that's working, and so that's how crazy the thing is. From the lawmakers, violating the constitution and so on. But let's come to the issue. I don't think that what happened in Port Harcourt, you know, um, amounts to the threshold where the president would declare a state of emergency. I don't think so. If it's the threats and the pipeline explosion that took place, if those are the reasons, the president has not told us, but say he got some intel. But the police in their investigation did say that pipeline was not blown by anybody. It was a spark, and it's been fixed and it's working. So because usually if it's blown up by one of these bad boys, they usually will come out and say we blew that up. So
Okay, no, sorry, for interjecting. Is this a fact of what you just said just now that
yes, yes,
police investigation shows
yes,
nobody blew it up?
yes. It was a spark. Even NMTC has. You can Google that. So
A
we don't
spark,
know.
we don't know where it came from.
Yes, and it's been fixed and everything is working. But that's just to say what I'm trying to say is that we don't see anything except that the president has not told us what intel he got, that will amount to that sudden declaration of state of emergency that would require one um, uh, uh, removing. Well, that's another case. But first of all, declaring a state of emergency, and then two, not waiting to get the approval of the National Assembly and immediately appointing a sole administrator and swearing him in, even when the National Assembly has not taken any decision, which is supposed to be part of the constitutional requirement. And then two, the issue of removing, the elected political officers, which has no basis in the Constitution. I mean, I've listened to lawyers and, very informed people say that, yes, Constitution grants him 305, Article 305 of the Constitution grants him the power to declare a state of emergency, even though we query if what happened, if the threshold amounts to that. But let's give that to him to say, okay, he has that constitutional power, But, whether he has the power to remove the elected officers, is an issue that the Supreme Court has settled in 2006. So he doesn't have that power. And then the reference to Obasanjo and that Obasanjo removed Fayose in Ekiti and removed Dari in Plateau. Those are two different issues, because even then, that case has also been litigated, and the basis upon which that decision was based in 1960, or 61 proclamation, it's not. Obasanjo was acting on 1999 Constitution. So that's whatever they used to justify that at that time has even been nullified, So that's
and if you think about it, I remember that there was a governor in Nigeria just
Yes.
before the election that defied the president's orders, a national order that he gave, defied it, and nothing happened to him. I remember El-Rufai defied the
Yes.
president.
Yes.
Buhari did nothing about this thing.
And then if
Buhari was looking to obey, and yet they declare this.
Yes, if you look at the issue of Obasanjo's declaration, these were PDP states. So the comparison is different. We have to compare apples with apples. The equities are not the same. Fayose was in PDP then. Daria was in PDP. So you are not going to accuse Obasanjo of anything against the opposition. No, that's not the case here. But even then, it's been shown and demonstrated that that was wrong. Okay, so we shouldn't be, and even why should we be using things that are wrong as a basis for a comparison? So I fault that. I don't think. And then if you go to Jonathan's period, the three states, there was an emergency which he declared, and that was in 2013. Okay, and the reason was that those three states, Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe, were being overrun by, were threatened. Security there, was threatened by Boko Haram, and he made that declaration. But he stopped short of removing the elected, constitutionally elected governors and members of the House. He never did that, and he came under strong criticism from even our president himself. He came under criticism. And so when you look at that and juxtapose it with what is happening now, you criticize this thing when the man didn't even remove elected officers. But here you have you've gone even further, not just to do it to APC, but you are doing it to opposition. And people are justifying.
Let me try to be like, try to see it from
Devil's
the other point.
advocate. Yes.
It's a kind of devil's advocate, So, like, say because of the ethnic tensions that was rising within that region,
Yes.
because only one group, which were the Igbo speaking, have ruled the country since 1999. That's Rivers State since 1999. Even when the other groups make up a majority of the state.
No, that will be correct. Ada George is not Igbo. You can say Ndoni is Igbo.
How long did he rule?
Ada George was there. Spiff has been there.
No. We're talking about this 1999 till now. I think.
Okay, Ada George. You start from Ada George. Ada George
I thought he ruled very briefly. He was
but he did rule. But he is the jaw.
Yeah, but the point is that this time that you have a Fubara that has 4 years to rule,
yes,
to remove him from office will create ethnic tensions that could spill into serious violence. one can look at that okay, maybe he stepped in so that the House of Assembly members don't go and vote to actually remove the only non-Igbo speaking member governor that had a 4th term to rule from office.
Okay. Let me say, Wike, I listened to Wike, and Wike say he's not Igbo. Wike has always said he's not Igbo.
But that is not going to fly. Nobody cares about it. The point is that people don't look at it like that. People don't look at it like that. They will look at the state where majority of them in that state are non-Igbo speaking. Then the Igbo speaking ones are the ones ruling the state continuously since 1999, and that was beginning to lead to serious tensions in the state. And you can argue that maybe that's what the president saw and wanted to forestall it, that if this fight starts, because I know Rivers State experienced a lot of upheaval, even ethnic upheaval in the late 90s and early 2000s, and that's why the development in Rivers State has been held back. So you can argue that maybe he saw that. He just decided, let me stem it now before these crazies go and remove this guy from office, and the job people say, okay, this is what you are doing. We are going to start fighting.
Okay. I know you are playing
Rwanda situation.
I know you are playing the devil's advocate. Yeah, but the truth is that what we see here is just 2 things. 1, state capture, and 2, an attempt to capture the resources of Rivers State. That's my own. That's the way I look at it. And I put the genesis of this whole fight to the 2023 election, and this is why we are saying when you carry out, when you are fraudulent, when there's the injustice, there's a price to pay. So what we are seeing, between the 2 fighting, Fugbara and because when they started, nobody brought us in. All the things that they agreed and they did. What the mistake that Fugbara made is that, you see, when you are taking an interest from the devil, you should also weigh, when you are taking a loan from the devil, you must also weigh what the interest will be, whether you'll be able to pay it. So between Fugbara and Wike, this is a fight, 2 people fighting, and now look at what they have done to the entire state. And what do you expect? I don't blame Tinubu in this fight, because he is also trying to survive. He's a politician.
To be fair,
he's trying to survive.
To be fair,
yes,
I saw this coming years ago, like 2023, when Tinubu wasn't settling this thing very well. I was arguing that if Tinubu was a sensible man, he would want stability in that region, because that is the region that is going to create an economic growth, stability that is going to foster, make his government popular, that he doesn't even have to bribe to win the election. But he didn't do that. Instead, he went the other way, allowed the tension to grow. And while housing one of the main active actors in this issue, housing that person in Abuja there and empowering him. So to say you cannot hold him accountable, actually I hold him more accountable, because he enabled that.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm saying as a politician, he is also struggling to survive, and he knows that he cannot touch that chief instigator, the instigator in chief, because if you touch him, we should have been what you see. The master stroke, if you wanted to solve this problem, is to say, Wike, I sack you. This whole thing would have ended.
But why is he struggling to survive? But politics is about numbers. All you have to do is govern well.
But he can't do it, because if he does it, he's in real trouble. And Wike is a crazy guy.
He can't govern well. Is that the problem?
Wike will just tell the whole world what happened. So he put himself in a. You see, that's why I talk about fairness and justice and so on and so forth. So this is the pay. Unfortunately, Rivers State people are suffering. I don't sympathize with Fugbara. I don't sympathize with Wike. I don't sympathize with the president. They're all one and the same thing, playing the same game, personal game. What benefit? What Fugbara is trying to survive. Wike is trying to survive. The president is trying to survive. So all this nonsense that they're doing, they will go and settle. When they were planning all these things, we were not there. Why are they fostering this thing on the entire country, on the entire nation?
Yeah, and why the people in the middle suffer? That's
Yeah,
where I have an issue.
so that's why I said, that the president, if you look at it from his own perspective, he's playing a game. Fubara is playing a game. Wike is playing a game. I don't blame Wike. You spend money, obtained through fraudulent means, and you raise up a system, a structure. You are expecting a pay, and then the boy that you thought that is a good boy now comes and backstabs you. He will fight. Fubara too has to fight. He's the governor. So all of them, it's not a question of saints and sinners. All of them, sinners all. If we had a good government, is to flush all of them, the three of them out, totally, all of them, send them away. Yes, because this is a mess. And the world is laughing at us. Yes.
Let me just ask this question, because is it not sad that our politicians, I thought the best politicians are the ones that do politics around the idea that it's going to be good for the people. They will play politics, but they have to have a reason. Like, let's say there was a project to build underground tube, rail tube in River State, and Fubara comes in, wants to ruin it. Then we can say, no, this is good for the people. The argument has nothing to do with the people.
It has nothing to do with the people.
It's the sad thing.
It's them. That's what I'm saying. So everybody is being selfish. They're playing their own game. This thing has nothing, and the people are suffering. So that's my point. I'm not supporting anybody. That's why I said, when I said the president, I don't blame him. He's trying to survive. Wike is trying to survive. Fubara is trying to survive. There's nothing for the people. Nothing. There's nothing there for the people. It's just a game of self-survival, and which is a tragedy. And then you go to the House. I mean, the House and the Senate. This is, in fact, I don't. There are things I cannot say here, but I think that it's time now for something to happen. That's all I will say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The fact that you are sounding like this, that is spelling problems, because you are quite measured in your approach. Welcome, Mr. James. So, do you think this is a problem of Nigeria not having any ideology? This is why they just fight about personality. There's nothing they are fighting for. They are not saying, oh, you are impoverishing the people, or you are not investing in businesses, you are not investing in the military. There is no argument. They're just arguing amongst themselves. Is it a lack of ideological vision in Nigeria that is causing this? Welcome, James.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Good. This is a case of gross incompetence on the part of Nigerians as a whole. When I say Nigerians, including myself, everybody in the country, we are grossly incompetent to govern ourselves. This is just what it boils down to. If people get the government they deserve, it's Socrates who said so. Now, if you look at what has been happening in the country, Natasha Akpoti's problem with Akpabio, and this has erupted. You will agree with me when Winston Churchill said that now this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. This is just the end of the beginning. We've not gone anywhere. We should brace up for a very high time to come. Now, let me make a statement. I read somewhere some time ago. In the quiet currents of time, small ripples go into waves, and the seemingly insignificant often carries the weight of a revolution. The seemingly insignificant often carries the weight of a revolution. That's what history has taught us. That explains why ageless decadence and apathy are the cornerstones of revolution. What is happening now in Nigeria, they are too serious to cause a revolution. They are too serious. Look at NSAS. There was false information that somebody was killed by the police at Ughelli in Delta State. False. The man was not killed. That was what nearly toppled Buhari's government. What normally causes a revolution is something very, very insignificant. But before that insignificant feature can cause a revolution, the people must have put up with enormous decadence and apathy for a very long period of time. Look at the French Revolution of 1789. Centuries of oppression, brutality. What caused the revolution? Price of bread. We cannot afford bread. That was what changed the history of France to today. The Arab Spring, what caused it? A fruit seller by the roadside set himself on fire. These are insignificant things that changed the history of man. So what is happening now, they are just the beginning of the end. So from what I can see, let me go a little bit geographical. I'll try to explain what I mean. So the earth is turning around. It's rotating every day. The sun does not actually rotate. It is we on earth that are rotating. As the earth is rotating, the upper part of the earth receives the light before the bottom. That is why when you're flying in an aircraft, let's say you are entering Lagos, at an altitude of 35,000, 40,000 feet above sea level, if around 5 a.m., you will be in light up there. But the people on the ground at the airport, they are still in darkness. What is happening now in Nigeria, we are on top of a mountain I think it was called Gongola. I can't remember what they call it now. They call it Chapel Wadi. It's 2,419 feet above sea level. That's the highest point in Nigeria. That is where the light has touched now. It is done in Nigeria, but we are still in darkness on the ground. On top, it's already done. What is happening now is a build-up to an explosion. And when the explosion will come, it's going to be a cataclysm that will reform the whole system. And there's an Egyptian, let me cite one example. There was a man in Egypt, they call Mohammed Karim. When Napoleon Bonaparte invaded Egypt, this man fought gallantly to save Egypt from occupation, but they lost the war. Then Napoleon Bonaparte said, I will not execute you for killing my soldiers, because people will blame me for killing somebody who is very patriotic to defend his people. But however, for the sake of my soldiers who died, you pay so tons of what's it called, gold. The man said, oh, that is no problem at all. Let's go to the city of Alexandria. There are traders there who have the money, they will pay to save my life. When they got there, the traders blamed the man seriously that he's a very useless, good-for-nothing man. He has destroyed our business. This and that. You are a troublemaker. To hell with you. Then Napoleon told the man, my friend, right now, I'm going to execute you. Not because you killed my soldiers, but because you fought for people who prefer commerce over nationalism. You get the point? There was one, what's it called, Syrian man, they call Mohammed Rashid Rida. He said to revolt on behalf of an ignorant people is akin to setting oneself on fire to light the way of the blind. If you fight if you revolt on behalf of ignorant people, you are equal to somebody who sets himself on fire to light the way of the blind. This problem has erupted. What are the people of Kogi State doing? They want to remove Akure from House of Assembly. They are signing rubbish in Lokoja right now. What are the people of Rivers doing? They are going to Bola Tinubu to discuss. What are you discussing? They brought a military man to replace a democratically elected government. Traditional rulers are already going there to pay homage. To do what? So you see, we are fighting on behalf of a blind people. We are setting ourselves on fire to light the way for a blind people. In conclusion, when I was in Nigeria those days, in 1983 general election, the people of Ondo State, when they had a showdown with Akiyoma Boriowo and Michael Ajashi, it was not Awolowo or Bolage or whatever it is who told them to take over the streets. When they took over the streets, the Supreme Court had no option than to reverse the judgment instantly. When this guy was removed from office, if the people of Rivers know what it means to lose their sovereignty in such an irresponsible manner, they know what to do. So when we are tired of saying we are tired, we will know what to do. This is how I see it. we living in this generation, we might not see the promised land. Sorry, we might not inherit the promised land, but we have a duty. We need to prepare the way for future generations to enter the promised land, not just to see it. Because I enjoyed Nigeria, as I've said on this platform a number of times. My education from primary school to university level was absolutely free, without any string attached to it. In that same Nigeria, I cannot explain what is happening now. So it is our duty to build a better, to lay a foundation for future generations to benefit from. Because Nigerians of today, they are blind people. So fighting to save them is an exercise in futility. We should fight to save future Nigerians, not modern Nigerians. Thank you very much.
You see, man, that's quite a solid submission there. You see what you said about a blind people, it kind of coincides with the earlier analysis that was done regarding why nations can change. You know, when we talked about it, like serious events needs to occur because the people's mindset have to be in the right place. And even then, you still need extraordinary leaders. This is why you see the Soviet Union was transformed, China was transformed, Singapore, because serious events occurred to them. We think we've seen fire yet. When we see fire, we will know fire. When our nation, we've never lived on rations, where the food you're going to eat the next day, they will have to share it among the country for you to eat. That is what these nations went through.
Fathers, you know, Amechi said it's because we are not stoning them. And I think it's gone beyond stoning. Something has to happen.
That's why that narrative James gave about what the experience of Napoleon versus the Patriots, that is part of the thing. If you are out of step with the people you are defending, you fail. You have to have an ideology that they sign on to, because they are the ones that will execute it. You can't do it yourself. This is why Sankara failed. Anybody that comes in Nigeria fails. In Africa, they fail because they've not signed. The people haven't signed on to it. One way or the other, either the enemies haven't come and destroyed the place so that their eye will open, or you haven't indoctrinated them to sign on to it. Many of our people would die for a church, would die for a religion, because they've been indoctrinated into it, but they will never die for you. They'll be like they will do what those Egyptians did. That is a very, very powerful example of what that represents. If you are not, if the people are not with you, you don't have enough of them with you to transform a nation. It's a very, very sad thing to happen to that poor man. He just died. And our soldiers are dying for same reason. Let me bring in hey, Mr. Rofo is here. Welcome, Rofo from all the way from America. Welcome, Uzo. What do you make of this wahala going on in
Wait. Forefather, I mean the call for Rofo.
Yes, now. Who else is part of Rofo?
How about your tickets for Atlanta? I will pay half. Make another blow you. I'm solid blow.
You see that? It's already started though. This
is your tickets. I go sponsor you come here. I give you.
You see that? Welcome, Uzo. I miss you. You know, you have not been around for a while. So what is happening now? Are you not shocked with what we are seeing in the?
Yeah, I'm shocked. Sometimes you say the truth. Sometimes you gaslight. Sometimes you often said with the South and South will be fighting, then the whole resources will be moving out of the region. I know you always said that, and this is what I foresaw that is coming by. All right, I'm on the state of emergency. You know, anybody can defend it. Yeah, there's nobody that tells to not declare a state of emergency in the state. But removing an elected governor is something that is a cue, man. The key is not when you carry God. This is the good God. Everything is being planned. And Wike himself, on that interview, he lay everything down. I watched that interview on about how the pipe is they're going to explode everything. All right? And everything come to play. Wike lay everything down. He played the game first by attacking the job people. The job people didn't react. That interview he granted supposed to be an ethnic war in Rivers State. But what happens is that they didn't react. Then he played the second card. All right? And when he plays the second card now, then state of emergency is created. Everything is done. What's going to happen? Their expectation was like how it used to be before. Hey, movie military, kidnapping starts, Share will run to Lagos, Ajip will go to Lagos, everybody will go to Lagos. They'll be renting aero contractor, coming from Lagos to Port Harcourt every morning, going back every morning, pumping money, moving money all over the place. But I don't pray it's going to get to that extent. I wish River people, Port Harcourt people, my people are there. As I said, people don't understand how it is. That 15 million from my place to River State. There's no how. Now Okada, people will all come back. Everyone will be rushing back home. All right, because of problems. You're going to affect everybody. We, the close neighbors, we Nigerians, going to affect everybody. But my own case is this. But I make people know what is going. You know what is happening. This is a way plan something all the way from this to the Senate. If you want how the whole thing went, you know this is a written plan key already. I will say the caucus, because I have lots of positions where we plan queue. Like you want to plan to remove somebody, you plan the queue for the provost to the chairman of the meeting. He come to meeting, he remove somebody. Everybody will raise their hand. The provost will tell you, talk. Your appointment are going to tell other people, shut up. The whole thing will be gone like that. So for me, Nigeria is I'm not kind of call it a zoo, but man, zoo is a good name because now it's like a jungle that everybody will kill anybody and eat without even looking back. And secondly, I don't know how it's going to happen. Nigerians are not ready to protest. They're not ready. They have already the kind of poverty in Nigeria cannot even me here. My brother tell me tomorrow they're going to protest. They don't get anywhere. I will say don't go out there. We'll kill you. That's the fear. There's a fear in the land. People cannot come out to protest. People cannot come out to say anything because everybody's scared to die and hungry, poverty, everybody. So nobody to put their life. See, after the NSAS, nobody want to protest. Everybody is scared of their life. They will better not to eat and die than to go there and be shot by the military or the police.
Yeah, but is that not a sign that we like to think their life is bad, but it may not be that bad. It may not be that life-threatening to them. It may be more okay than you like to think. Like I said, there are nations that have lived on rations before. Nigeria has never come close to that. So maybe that's why they are just sitting at home. They don't care.
No, they are just sitting at home. Nigeria protested when they protested, all right? But there is only a tree they will say they will cut you, a tree will stand, all right? Imagine, listen, this is Tinubu, this is not Buhari. Buhari is a former military head of state. Tinubu is more dangerous than Buhari. Even during the NSAS, who carried that killing? If you watch it very well, it was almost attacked to Tinubu on Lekki Gate. It was almost Tinubu gave the order. That's what everyone was saying. All right, I have to run. Tinubu is more dangerous than Buhari we are talking about. All right. Now the issue is Nigeria. I don't know the way forward, but at the end of the day, we all have to we abroad. They have to keep on talking, keep on preaching. As Van Austin said, those of us abroad here, we think differently than how people in Nigeria are thinking. All right. All this we carry this in upon our head, like we get informations, we analyze it, we see the way it is, we see okay, this is where we are living is not the same. People in Nigeria, the way you are thinking that this is how this is, that's not the way it is. I really call people, they are like, they see that normal. They're not even feeling the heat.
That's true. They don't even bother with it. I speak to people all the time too. They can be asked.
Yeah, we that are here are the one like, even like, like the first that it didn't trouble me, I was like, what the hell? But they don't even care. So we that are
could it be because many of us are overseas sending money to them? And because I just feel like the generation now, they are not plugged into things that are going wrong in the country. They just say things are hard, but they are fine anyway. Things are hard, but they are fine. If you look at them physically, they look fine. Yes, the healthcare is not as good. Things are hard, but they still look fine. But even maybe better than some of you that are here. If you bring somebody that is in Nigeria that has gone to school like you bring them face to face, they will have a good haircut, they will look good, but they don't have much in their pocket. That's the difference.
Okay, have you? Do you see how Wike look? Did you see his look? That guy look. If you listen, if you go to Nigeria, right, look like your age mates, people you left 10 years ago. They'll be looking like 70, 80 in your eye. They'll be looking like, no matter how rich they are, they will look somehow in your eye. All right. So that's number one part. Now, secondly, is this. When we get information here, all right, we know the consequence of things. In Nigeria, they don't know the consequence. They don't know the consequence of anything. Now, they don't know the consequence of bringing a military administrator to River State. They're just, okay, it's a military people, they are here. They don't know the consequence of it. When you don't know the consequence of something, that's why you can come out anyhow to say whatever you want to say. I walked away with it. That's why, even in the developed world, a sitting minister will not go to a national TV, get interviewed, and say that what Wike said. Wike will be picked up, he will be locked, he'll be interrogated, he will be. You know what that guy just said? He tried to create an ethnic cleansing in River State.
Yeah, that's why I said could that be the reason why the president declared state of emergency? Because there's an ethnic tension going on.
If you want to declare a state of emergency, Imo State or so local government, they can declare the emergency in that place. Nobody live in that place. I can say it here. There is no youth in that place. Everywhere is either killed. They never declare an emergency. In so many instances now, they never declare an emergency. So is it today they start bombing pipeline? Wait, is it
exactly? It's not today.
Buhari regime, the Tinubu regime. Is it the first pipeline we are seeing blown up? So it's just like a planned military coup. Want to take over River State, want to take over resources, want to put it on their pockets, want to move.
But let me ask you, I hear what you are saying. Sorry. What if, let's say he had declared the state of emergency, to secure the pipelines and make sure that not one drop of our oil goes missing again. If he had declared the state of emergency in that sense, but leaving the politics out of it, like Jonathan did, he didn't suspend the governor, he didn't suspend the House of Assembly, but makes it possible so that the military can go in there and secure those pipelines. Do you think Nigerians will support him for that?
Forefather, people that blow our pipeline, who are they? Are they not criminals?
Yes.
What happened to criminals? The police efforts in defense to go after them. It's not the kind of emergency. There is a huge.
No, but the question is, do you think people will support him about that? I know what you think about it, but do you think
already
people will support him?
listen. I think that from that part of area, civil defense are way in peak. They were with gunboat and everything in the same place that pipeline are blowing up. Military has said, I'm not. At least two of my cousins are serving in different civil defense. They are there on that Greek already. There's a lot military present. Everything is there already. As I said, this is a plan work. Remember, I put my pen back to weekend interview. He even brought Tampolo guarding the pipeline. How would they blow a pipeline when their brother is guiding it? These are all planned stuff. He said, why would they blow it when their brother is guiding it? This guy, they just planned everything and let it explode. So it's not a matter of because of the pipeline they blew, they declare emergency. That's not it. Because they know that they couldn't remove Fubara, like impeach him. All right. We know a week before then how they were trying to use through the impeachment process, through the chief judge of the states to settle this. That will not work because the guy is on Wike's side. Now they came up with that the guy for the age, do that, try to remove him. It didn't work. So they play another card. So that's just the whole thing. They play this card now to move further finally. And Fubara is gone. He's gone. He's not coming back there. He's not coming back.
No, I think he's going to return. He's going to return. I don't. As a matter of fact, because of this now, his position is even more assured because if he removes him, he's confirming exactly what he claimed or what one of the arguments that they claim to for the reason for putting the emergency. Because if you remove him, then it's just going to okay, that division that you're trying to prevent, you just came, aggravated it, and made it happen anyway. They will blame Tinubu for it.
I ask you, what is the reason they declare emergency in that state? Can you tell me?
If you ask me, I think the president used because he wanted access, because that's one of the areas which Fubara is blocking. He wanted access to a lot of resources that he can use for its own reason. You know, they want power. If you want me to put it from my own conspiracy analysis, I would say it's just part of the system of ensuring that Nigeria doesn't develop. Because I've asked myself, when Dangote refinery comes on stream, the demand for the dollar reduces, the naira should appreciate, and the cost of petrol should come down, cost of living should reduce in Nigeria. Nigeria should start seeing economic development. They should start seeing their GDP rise. You should see growth going on in Nigeria. But you know, when I said that is in theory. But these leaders we have, they are always there to stop it. Like he stopped it in the first place by floating the currency. Now the next phase is to make sure. Remember, that area is where it's funny. That's where Dangote was supposed to get crude oil from, isn't it? If that area, because what he's doing now, if that area starts fighting and they disrupt the crude oil supply, guess what's going to happen? We are not going to get the benefits from Dangote, not as much.
Forefathers, Dangote is importing crude from abroad right now. And
that's the problem. That's why the Naira hasn't appreciated much already. It should have appreciated by now.
I don't think you're updated.
There's an issue of between Dangote and NNPC and some, because over, you know, whether he will buy in local currency or whether he'll buy in dollars. He pays Dangote to sell, to process and sell abroad than to sell to Nigeria. He pays him much better. So there's a lot of politics there. And you see, I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of. I'm just tired.
Mr. Tony, you know it's even worse than what you're saying now. I don't know if you heard the news during the week. I'm sure KJ is aware of this, of the fact that controversy about that all swap thing that they're trying to renew.
Yes.
That's even going to make it even worse. And you may likely hear about an increase in the pump price of petrol in the coming weeks.
Yeah,
it's still the same thing. And something I learned from the Council for, I forget what you call this group, and there's this journalist in Ghana, foreign relations, and there's this journalist in Ghana as well, something Wike. He points to what has been going on that has not been reported, by the way. Firefighters were not aware. Do not for once think that oil bunkering and pipeline destruction has ever stopped. No, it's just not being reported. That's one. Two is the fact that the same military that you think the same pipelines that they're complaining about, which is an excuse, which by miracle they managed to contain the next day. Don't ask me that happened, because of course we know this is all politics. I don't know if you forget that despite the fact that Tompolo has been given that license for whatever.
Yeah.
Previously there was license given to Dokubo at the cost of $10 million during Adura's regime. Part of which he siphoned back to Benin Republic, where he went to build schools, and I don't know if you're aware of those things.
University,
now, university and stuff. Now, generally, if the Navy, the military, the same military, among others, who are supposed to be manning, stopping this bunkering, are actually contributing to it in no small measure. Of course, you recall the case of those ships that keep disappearing, that nobody is able to account for. And when you go back to, there's also the contribution of the politicians themselves. These things happen for no ordinary reason. Ultimately, it all goes back to the oil richness of rivers, because if rivers was not this oil rich, maybe it might not even escalate to those points. But do not be deceived, the oil forefathers. All this is just politics.
But you see, KJ, thank you for joining us. Is it not in Tinubu's interest for the South to be at peace, to be happy, none of this argument happening, so that when the time comes, there will be a lot of money coming into Nigeria, and his economy, the economy that he will be managing, will be doing better, and people will vote for him, and nobody will say he is unpopular. But you see this behavior that doesn't make sense from any other point of view other than sabotaging the nation. That's all I see. If you, and I've been saying it to, just mark it when I started saying this stuff about 2 to 3 years ago. Just keep marking what they are doing. This is one other one that they are doing now to bring the nation further backward. Because what else is the reason? It is in its own interest for that area to be good. Am I missing something here?
Anyway, I think forefather, you are carrying too many hands at the same time, because the issue of Dangote and the fuel is totally a different thing altogether. What is going on in River State is a totally different thing altogether. What's going on with Natasha is totally different thing altogether. So, but I will, and I don't want anybody to miss the fact we are not arguing the River State because of Fubara. Fubara has not done anything that is worthy of arguing or fighting for him. But we're arguing because of the institution that are supposed to be, sacrosanct. Nobody should be able to control it. It should be totally left to run on its own. Now, Fubara and his master, Wike, were the ones who robbed Obi of victory, and consequently even the governorship. So what is getting now is like a karma. But we are not going to stand by the sideline and say, well, because you have done bad, we will not talk about the system that you people are trying to destroy at all costs. Now, what Tinubu did is just taking advantage of nothing, because the constitution is clear. It says you can only declare state of emergency if there's a breakdown of law and order. There is no breakdown of law and order in River State. The assembly and the governor have been arguing, going back and forth, but civil servants were still going to work. Schools were still being operated. Taxis and buses were still running. Market women were still going to their market. Business was still being conducted. So as at the time of declaring state of emergency, there was no emergency in River State. Let's get that very clear. What we have seen is that you use a small situation to achieve your political goal, which is first and foremost satisfy the man who robbed for you in the River State to give you the election victory, and then also give back the wheel of power to him and his cronies, because all of them have quietly now gone back to government house, to the point that even the chief of Fubara's chief of staff is saying that the River State High Court ruling is not in place. Okay, so if it's not because all of them are, and traditional rulers who are supposed to be the ones saying no, this is gone beyond, are going to visit, and the so-called administrator is even telling them, I will not tolerate any nonsense. I'm not going to tolerate any nonsense or any list. So here, what are we doing? You guys said the military was bad, but you have taken your own hand. You didn't appoint a civilian administrator. Is there nobody in Rivers, Cross River, Akure Ibom that is good enough for you to appoint to run the state, other than bringing back
because you see, and you are right there, he could have chosen another German, because if you remove another German, you chose another civilian German that supports you and put it in place. That will douse the ethnic tensions in that,
and then,
in that area.
I'm just taking you one after the other. The Supreme Court ruled that because the governor didn't have an assembly in place, consequently, money should be seized. You came up, you suspended the governor, you suspended the deputy, you suspended the assembly, and now you
release the money.
You appointed an administrator who does not have an assembly, does not have an advisor, does not have anybody to checkmate him. Then you release all the money that people have been holding to him within one day. Has the ruling of the Supreme Court changed?
No.
So what are we looking at? And then when they are talking, some people are thinking that we are talking about, who cares about Fubara? Who cares about Fubara? We don't care about Fubara. We don't care about the assembly. We care about the people of River State and the so-called democracy we think we are practicing. If soldiers are better, then let us go back to military rule and get things done. Because that's what they're saying.
You are looking for trouble. I didn't say that. Now you talk about
the argument they will make regarding the money is that the reason why they didn't pass the money to the local government is because what the Supreme Court did. But in the state of emergency, where military is in place, the way they disperse money is different. So
forefathers,
that's what they are
Who said so?
military must not be
I
in
don't know
place.
who says so. I'm just thinking
Forefathers, military must not see forefathers. If you want to say military in place, then let military take over everywhere. State of emergency does not mean a military man must be in charge.
Okay,
but he's not a military man technically.
He's a military man.
He's a retired one.
Forefather, I think I still have the this thing. Let's go back to River State. Is there nobody in River State who can run River State? Okay, if there's nobody, is there no former governor who can run River State?
KJ, sorry to cut you. You also, you know what's also ironic is the fact that that guy is also very close to Wike.
Very close, Wike's right hand man. Wike's right hand man. You didn't see any other military. You didn't see any naval officer in River State who could have run the place. Since you are looking for military men who are better than civilians, who are better, and then you didn't see. You brought a GOC from Cross River State. You brought a governor from administrator from Cross River State. Oh, there is nobody in River State? See, let's look at these things and look at it from the pure point of what it is. It is for the fact that they want to use River State money to execute their evil plan come 2027. It's as simple as that.
KJ, I'm coming. What of the legislators who are supposed to say no, this is wrong, and then the thing will end?
No, hold on now. Both people are fighting. Is that not what they said?
Yes.
But both people are fighting. But that's not the only place where both people are fighting. Remember that both people were fighting in Lagos State. They even had two speakers at one time. Abasa said he was speaker. The woman said she was speaker. It went on back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They didn't declare state of emergency. Nobody was in danger. Just like earlier speaker spoke, they have been expelling communities in Benue State. They have been run up and down. Okay, Fulanis have wiped almost how many villages out. The governor is fighting with the chief judge of the state. Okay, he wants to remove him. Say Nigerian Judicial Commission say you can't remove him. Now that is going back and forth. Why didn't they declare state of emergency there? Because now there's no.
KJ, is this problem not the Nigerian people's problem? Because if you look at it now, those House of Assembly members, almost every one of them, they have constituencies that they go back to, and they will go back to those constituencies, and those same people that they've just bereft of all these things will be welcoming them. Oh, welcome, sir. We are going to do anything you say, sir. As long as you give us this one, they will still back these same people. Because if you think about it, if we hold those assembly members accountable, look at what they are doing to Akure now.
What you are forgetting is this. At the end of the day, the military administrator is going to dance to pander to whatever Wike wants. So 400 billion is already coming his way. Wike can get 100 billion from it. And the man also will take, of course, especially when they pack honey, they lick hand, Nabi. So if people will say he should give to you people, he too will carry some of his own. River State are the losers. And I don't understand for only God knows why they are all sitting down in their houses. You are sitting down for what? It's not about Fubara. It's about your state. It's about what is going to happen to your resources in the next 5-6 months. And 6 months.
The state is divided. That's what is going on. The state that's part of the problem. Because the state, if the state wasn't divided, the federal government wouldn't be able to do what they are doing. Wike has managed to create a situation whereby it's almost become an ethnic tension between the two sides. So that is that's why this is happening.
I wish you had the section of the Constitution that talked about on the levels on which you declare state of emergency and what should be the assembly response. The Constitution didn't say assembly should respond by a voice vote. It is a count. It is head count. Yes, I, KJ, I am standing against it. I will write my name. I will sign. But they decided to delay, just like they did about Natasha's own. Natasha's meeting was called for 2 p.m. The people who were there showed up at 2 p.m. They never had that meeting till 5 p.m. when those people left. When the people left, I had signed their names as people who were present so that they can collect their attendance money.
Why did they leave? They didn't know that was
If
going
I
to be
come
happening
to
that
meet,
day.
if I come for a meeting for 2 p.m. and by 5 p.m. you have not started the meeting, won't I go home?
You stay now. This
No,
is a
now.
war.
No, now, no.
You see, if you are there to defend justice, you don't go anywhere.
We are now being unreasonable.
You are not holding them accountable. How about soldiers that are staying on guard posts for 24 hours? These ones, they come for office 2 o'clock, and you know that Akpoti's vote is going to happen. You took off.
Father, we are being unreasonable. Look, these are politicians. Let us face the fact, whether we like it or not, they have other commitments. And if I come for a meeting, I waited for 2 hours and they are not there, why will I be waiting? Waiting for what?
Then mark yourself absent.
People are probably canceled the meeting.
Then so mark yourself absent. Then you said the meeting is cancelled. I'm not here. So whatever vote happens, I'm not here.
Listen now. When they sit, you are paid for sitting allowance. That's what they paid for. So if you come, you are assigned attendance so that the sitting allowance will be given to you. And you have come and sat for 2 hours and you are going away. Obviously, your name is there, but you didn't sign to approve that which they eventually carried your name and put on it. Now, having said that, this one is not even a constitutional requirement. We are talking about the one the Constitution stated blow by blow on how to go about it. What stops you as a representative of people not following that instruction? Because you have already decided to cheat. So, forefather, let me tell you what is making me fear. You see, America here, the governors are always fighting with Trump. Before Trump came in, the Republican governors were fighting with Biden. Has anybody ever said, okay, and they will now call in the military to go and do this? Oh, they are always fighting. In fact, if you go back like 1 month ago, one of the governors came and said, look, the directive that Trump gave, she wasn't going to follow it. Trump said, okay, we'll meet you in court. Okay? So is that not the beauty of democracy, that you can bring your point, I bring my own? Is that when me and you fall out, then you take drastic action because you can mobilize the army to take over a state, and then everybody keeps quiet. Everybody say, oh, what you have done is...
KJ, you are excusing the lawmakers, though. The lawmakers are closer to the people, and you are excusing them.
I am saying that they failed us. You understand what I'm saying? They failed us woefully. Because the Nigerian people expected that when this thing go to the National Assembly will say no nonsense, But instead, the National Assembly helped in deceiving the people. Look, but forefather, are you not afraid that we are running a nation where simple truth cannot be followed? Simple truth, black and white. We won't follow it. Are you not afraid? It fear me.
And KJ, the people who stood up to challenge them and to point them to the fact that we must follow the Constitution, they drove them out. They didn't let them talk.
Yeah,
they shut them down.
There's an atmosphere of intimidation going on there. I saw the video of the Labour member wanting to say make a statement. You can see the intimidation. The head of the house wasn't even listening to him.
Yes.
It's like, what kind of
It's another thing now.
You need a steel back to do what you need to do in that place. And don't care about what they say.
That is why they want to do away with Natasha by all means, because she dared to go against the status quo. Okay, she dared to speak out. So everything is going to be done. Look, let me tell you, I knew it was going to come to this. You know why? Because Wike has told enough to unseat anybody. He's not even going to spend the money in Naira. We all know that what he did in River State. We know if River State made $10 when he was there, he has 8. Rivers has 2. We know. Okay? But we thought that some men of goodwill will stand up and say, this is not about money. This is about the future and our people. When history recalls this event, on what side of history shall we be? That's what we're concerned about. It's not about what. Look, who do you think I like Fubara? Because if I was Fubara, I would not do this nonsense. Since you know that Wike wants to fight to finish, even those 27 that are in River State, they will not remain there as long as I'm the governor. I don't understand, because it's like the Bible says, "Woe unto him who is at peace in Zion." You see somebody carry fight come reach your house, you say they play gentleman. You know why I'm afraid of Nigeria, forefather? I'm telling you the truth, too. This is me. As you done so now, you be a member of House or Assembly. You don't do anything. Me, I just did here now. I decide to say, okay, forefather is my issue now. I can set you up. I can just before you know I don't go House of Assembly, go past, they will, they will suspend you. I go court, get one kangaroo injunction. That's the end. It's gone. It's gone. Nobody comes to say, this process, was it correct? Nobody. So I don't know. See,
it's the nature of politics. I'm beginning to feel like it's the nature of politics to see all these messy things. But in the end, like you said, the people are the ones that are suffering. Their actions are not about the people. That is the saddest part. That, at least in America, the actions that you see in America, even if Trump is egotistical, but somehow the ideology is tied to an ideology, something that they want to do for their people. Look, this one, there is nothing there.
And let's look at the American politics, which I like.
Oh, sorry, KJ, I have to move to.
Don't after that, I'll round up. Just less than 1 minute.
Okay.
If you have an issue, you go to the first court of this thing, and the court does not satisfy you. You can go. By the time you get to the Supreme Court, I can assure you, they will take what is right. They will hardly bend it to it, no matter who, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. But in our own this thing now, the court has become. In fact, I changed the name of the court now to become Wike jury.
Magistrate court.
You look at that.
Yes.
He's ruined all his all that presentation effort.
After this broadcast, go and look at how many judgments in favor of Wike since he became. Go and look at it. You'll be amazed at how much judgment he has got from Supreme Court. So I end at that.
Wike is one extraordinary human being. Some of the comments we've all seen the videos he's made, arguing precisely against what he is doing right now in such passionate ways, and just do 360 like that. That is a man that is, I don't know, when they say Machiavellian, on a different level, 100%. It's all about his interest at the time. He will say anything. And many politicians are like that, but Wike takes it to a different level.
Wike, they come up. People are so happy then. Remember, Wike was one of the people.
So
Nigeria.
He takes it to a different level. He talks as if he's so decent. Maybe there is a streak. We have to look at the streak of truth somewhere. Maybe we'll look at his own accomplishments. Because in the middle of all this, I struggle to see what they are arguing about. It's only about structure, not about building anything. If Wike was saying, because you're not developing the state enough, or something. Wike, we know to an extent, Wike is an active politician that actually do things on the ground. So it's a very, very tricky thing. The way he behaves, you would think there's an element of decency in there because he actually does things on the ground. But at the same time, you can see a calculated politician that can say anything. He will make the argument so deeply, with such passion. And the next day, he will make the opposite argument with such passion. It's like, who do you believe? That video, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Wike was arguing against everything that he's doing now. He condemned other people for it.
The system allows him to do it.
Forefather. Sometime, let's rewind our system back 5 years ago, 4 years ago. When we was one of the people, they come, everybody. What did he do? Obibo. These people, so many people crucifying him now, calling him bad person. They were all Wike is the man. Where was whipping out Obibo, turning Obibo to no-go area? Did they ever declare an emergency? Remember in Obibo, they were they don't lock this thing down for how many weeks? No coming out. They declare an emergency. People were happy for him then. He's the man. Now the thing don't turn.
Thank you. Dexter, what do you make of this wahala going on there? Is it do you see the people anywhere? Because I'm trying to see where the people fit in the argument. Is there any kind of thing that anybody had anything, just in case, had any real disagreement? There's something Fubara wants to do on the ground that they don't like. I hear that sometime in Lagos when Tinubu turned against Ambode, had something to do with the blue rail. At least somebody has something on that one. But I've not had one thing, anything else that they're arguing about other than structure for political reasons.
Forefathers, first of all, to answer you directly, Wike said it openly. I think that was shortly after Fubara became governor, at the onset of the crisis. He said he wants to keep his political structure. Fubara should not touch his political structure. That is what Wike said. Wike wants to be, so the way Nigerian elections go, you have the elections in the polling units. After the elections in the polling units, where is the collation center? Collation center is the local government. Now, rigging happens at the local government, at the collation center. Now, if you are in control of the local government, you are in control of the rigging. You are in control of the results. Now, Wike has been in control of the local government of Rivers State for the last 12 years. That's what, and the way we are looking at it, what is happening in Nigeria is that we've planted a lime tree and we come and we want to reap succulent oranges. It's not going to happen. Wike is the institution we have created. Wike was supposed to be a local government chairman in 1999. It was the court that brought him. He actually did not stand for election. Somebody else stood for elections. They put Wike inside. By 2003, Wike was not supposed to come back as local government chairman. This person, Secondus, and the PDP cabal had removed his name. It was Mary Odili. When Wike got wind of it, he rushed to the government house. And this is Wike telling the story. He rushed to the government house, saw Mary Odili, knelt down, begged her, told her, look, they've removed my name. She said, who told you? She told her, I know how they removed my name. So she took him by hand back to meet Odili in government house and told Odili, why did they remove this man's name? See, Odili said, no, they didn't. He said, no, he said, Odili called Secondus back. Secondus that had gone with the list. Called Secondus back. They put Wike's name back on the paper. 2027, Amechi did not contest election in Rivers State. Amechi did not. He was not on the ballot. It was Omeha on the ballot. Wike was the hatchet man that swung the judiciary. Amechi ran away to Ghana. Amechi actually did not even think he will come back. If you listen to Amechi when he went to Apostle Suleiman's church, he spoke about how he did not expect to win the case. They lost the case in the High Court. They lost the case in tribunal. They lost the case in the appeal court. It was in the Supreme. I lived in Rivers State all this period. The rumor has it that the hatchet man, Wike is a lawyer. Wike is like a hatchet man that had done deals well throughout his time in law school. He knew how to get around it. He was the one that was responsible for bringing. He was the one that brought Amechi back into Rivers State. Okay. By the time Amechi worked with Wike for 4 years, when Wike was chief of staff, Amechi saw how bad Wike was and knew that he couldn't have this kind of man around him. Amechi removed Wike from his government. It was Amechi's friend that told Amechi, please, Wike will die. This man is going to die of depression. Let us send him to the federal. Amechi is on record saying that is the biggest mistake and that was the worst advice he ever took from somebody. He planned to strip Wike completely off. Wike went to the federal government, went as minister. As minister, what did Wike do? He aligned with Jonathan, instigated crisis. There was crisis between Jonathan and Jonathan's wife and Amechi. Aligned on that side, and for his own interest. Now, by 20, when Wike was becoming governor, that was 2014. It was actually Amechi wanted. They had already agreed. Let this thing go to the Rizarain people. Let this governorship go to. Because of Patience Jonathan. Patience Jonathan is one that carried Wike. There is a video for it. Carried Wike by hand to Odili. And this is your son. Wike said, pledge loyalty to Odili. That was how they gave Wike federal might. They gave him federal might. You see this thing that Wike did to PDP. Wike did to PDP where they did not do any rally. Do you know that Amechi tried to do it to Wike? When Wike was coming for rally in Rivers State, they wanted to use the stadium. There's a new stadium. The new stadium they have built around in Greater Port Harcourt City. The new stadium. I've forgotten the name of the stadium. Amechi went and made sure that they got chippings. They got chippings and filled the whole entrance of the stadium with chippings. They filled the whole entrance to stop them from eating. Wike came there that morning. Do you know what he did? He called the community. Told them, who wants to build houses? There's free chippings for you people. Call the community. Who wants to build houses? That was how free chipping. People came, packed all the chipping, and that was how they went inside.
Wow.
So Wike, the point is this. First of all, I think anybody that one of the best objective analysis I've seen during this crisis is Omole Sowore. I think if you listen to his interview on Arise and on Channels TV, he was very apt, very, very apt. And something he did on Channels TV, which I really love, is the truth is that you see this our journalists, our media, mainstream media journalists in Nigeria. Some of them are working for this political class. Like on Arise TV, they were trying to gag Sowore, and he called them out for it. They were saying, and they were trying to tell him that your statement, I hope your statement is not trying to incite. They said, don't gag me. And I was proud of that statement. On Arise, he maintained the same statement. They were not trying to gag him on Arise, but his points on this issue are consistent. But one thing we should note this: Wike is a Machiavellian politician. He doesn't appeal to sympathy. He appeals to what you want. Wike knows what you want. Wike puts Wike up. They are the ones that put Wike, made sure that he became local government chairman. Wike eliminated the younger Timothy Misri. Look, Wike is the typical politician that he knows what you want. Like now, Tinubu, he knows what Tinubu. Look, Wike, don't think that Wike is with Tinubu because he's loyal. What Wike has done is that he knows what Tinubu wants, and he has shown himself to be a man of capacity. He will align with Tinubu. You see this thing you want, I will give it to you. Now, since I'll give it to you,
and Tinubu likes people that have capacity. Tinubu likes people that have capacity.
Yes, you trade. He's everywhere. You will trade with me. You will trade with me. The video is there. When Tinubu came to Rivers State, Tinubu was telling Wike, I don't know. Wike was very smart too. Look at how smart he was. He knew that there was a movement, the obedience movement. He gave Peter Obi all the support. He made it look like it was him Peter Obi all the support. And that triggered fear in Tinubu. When Tinubu went to campaign in Rivers, Tinubu did not go to campaign ground first. Too. Tinubu first went to government house to pay homage to Wike. And Wike sat down like a lord. Wike had the power for negotiation. Tinubu was saying, I don't know where you stand. That's what Tinubu said with his mouth. That you are not, so Wike had his negotiation. Like, this is what it is. He has to know what is in it for him. So Wike negotiated. And what he has done is that he has now told Tinubu, this is how, you see, when APC, when they were swearing in Fubara, the APC chairman then said, I don't know how you won Rivers State, how APC won Rivers State. We did not see it as that APC had even resigned that they will not win Rivers State. But how Wike made them win, Wike knew what he was doing. So he has played that card. And now, Tinubu has to lock him down. Tinubu has to lock Wike down for 2027. By hook or by crook. And that is Tinubu's own interest. Locking him down for 2027. This crisis in Rivers State, it would have been easy to settle. Any smart if Tinubu is like a mafia. Do you understand? So he's not interested in the people. Tinubu is not interested in the people. If Tinubu was interested in the people, it's very easy to solve the problem. Make Wike an ambassador and send him away. Simple. That's all he needed to do. If he was interested in solving the crisis, all he do is make Tinubu and Wike an ambassador to one country in the Caribbean, maybe Brazil, and send him.
Caribbean, yeah,
yes, send him away. All this influence, everything will die. There is no ethnic. It's Wike that is stoking ethnic tension. There is no ethnic tension. The upland people in Rivers State, for crying out loud, have done 24 years. 24 years. You know, it's time for the riverine people to get something. Now, the other part is this. It always benefits the Lagos economy when there is crisis in the Niger Delta. It always benefits the Lagos economy. And don't forget that Tinubu is a mastermind. I hope you know that Tinubu has been advocating for Lagos to become like a protectorate, like Monaco. Lagos will be like a state, like it will be like.
You know, hold on there. I think you've touched on something today. I must say, everybody seems to be on fire today, man. From James, Tony, I don't know, man. What they eat apart from KJ, obviously. KJ is always going somewhere we don't know. But I think you are on fire today with what you are saying, because I see the same thing too. That the southeast and the south often get destabilized, and that is one of my biggest frustrations when observing the Nigerian space, because that area has far more resources, has far more scope for development, because the River Niger cuts through Nigeria, right through that area. They could have developed it so that they have a kind of super highway to transport goods and commerce. But instead, the whole development in Nigeria is heading in one direction only.
Yes.
And now, this action might exacerbate it even further, the situation.
There's who I think he saw already that said it, that there's an unwritten agreement. You see, if you look at Nigeria, which area has the conflict always been in? Is what you call the old eastern region. That is where the whole conflict about, and you do that to make sure that that place remains undeveloped. Do you know that, okay, it was Ojus Okali, if you go and listen to his interview on Arise, I think 2 weeks ago, not on Arise, on channels with Sheung Okimbaloye, he was talking about how, do you know that what you call Element Petrochemical today, Element Petrochemical was actually supposed to be in Abia State. He said it. He said there is, look, and he said he didn't want to talk. He said it was in the presidential fiat, it was there. Element Petrochemical destination was supposed to be Abia State. It was last minute they announced. So he was talking about how it is made up that there must be the southeast, that eastern region will not be developed. What you call Ajokuta still, the original plan, it was supposed to be in Anambra State. The original plan, it all made up that. So there is a, and unfortunately, you have a generation in Nigeria that still live in the 1966 age. Do you understand? And those are the people that are still ruling. they don't see, and what they don't seem to learn is that Nigeria is becoming more undeveloped. You know, the more they pursue that agenda, the more the country is becoming more undeveloped. But their pockets are getting fat. That is the truth. Their pockets are getting very fat, but the country is becoming more undeveloped. Now, on Tinubu's decision to send for Bara package, it is a blunder. But do you know why that blunder is happening? It's because good men, in quotes, the people you call good men in Nigeria have decided to work for mafias. Osibanjo work for mafia. The president, what is his name? Attorney General of Federation. It in quote that he has been a very good lawyer, but now he's working for a mafia. You have to do the mafia's bidding. And so they are trying to twist whatever they can twist to make sure that it aligns with what Tinubu wants. But it is clear that what he has done is wrong. It is not only the judiciary, even the churches. You see, when you start taking money from politicians, at a point in time, you don't have he who pays the piper calls the tune. And Tinubu knows that, you see, money is like paper. If money will buy your loyalty, he'll give it to you. You know, he'll give it to you. So the truth is that thing, what Tinubu has done, in essence, you see, if we were in 1960, and many people have, Dr. Ruben Abati has been sounding the warning since last 2 weeks. He has been sounding the warning that this present crop of politicians, they don't seem to learn. That they are taking Nigeria towards what happened in 1962. But the judge said it this week. That's what they are doing is people don't seem to learn. They are taking Nigeria towards what happened in 1962, and it was what happened in 1962 that was a catalyst to what happened in 1966. So because of power, these politicians don't care. And what you are not ever supposed to do is to bring men in uniform close to political or administrative power. Money corrupts. The moment you introduce them to it, they will not go back. It is happening in Mali. It is happening in Niger. It is happening in Burkina Faso. They will not go back. Do you understand? So the Tinubu, they are blinded. I know. Showore said that the best thing that he's happy about it because.
Can I say something, please?
Let me just land on this thought. He's happy about it because he expects the Nigerian people. I cannot look genuinely when I listen to Showore today. I can understand what he wants. He wants the Nigerian people to rise. If you read Machiavelli's book, The Prince, the truth about it is that if the Nigerian people, if us, the Nigerians, don't rise up in this situation and take our country back, like Dati said, you know, when Tinubu was elected, Dati said that Nigerians are not ready for democracy. If they can't rise up and take their country back, you will see that maybe some strong men will rise up. Yes, please.
Okay, you just hold on. There was one statement one lady made on it's from Port Harcourt. He says they've been telling us that the reason why the roads are not being done in the south was because the land was bad, but it's not true.
It's not
they found out the truth now that they've just used that to underdevelop the whole area.
Very true.
So Nigeria,
the person who made that statement is Hilda. Hilda made that statement because they've been telling the rivers people why they can't get to the riverine area is because the soil is not good. It will cost billions to make road. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, Fubara now have made roads to those communities that they said hitherto they cannot make roads too. Now, but here is what I'm trying to paint a picture for you because Nigerian people are not going to wake up. I'm sorry to say this, and I'm telling you with all full sense of responsibility. They're not waking up. They are gone. See, if I was the sole administrator, I did my village house, they try to see how Garigo they go do my children. You can't make sole administrator for 6 months. Let's play the devil's advocate here. You think I'm going to leave that office after 6 months? No, on the 5th month, I'll begin to look for what I will investigate to find out.
No, you will stoke. KJ, you will just stoke violence. It's simple.
That's what I'm saying now.
You will just stoke violence.
You have many cards you can play. You can even start that violence, or you can even, if you don't even want to deal with violence, you can say there is corruption here. You found out that billions of naira was taken, and you want to invite EFCs to come and look at it. Okay, while they are looking at it, nobody will give power back to the man, and that's why I say Fubara, for whatever. I like people who are quiet, but you see, Igbos have a proverb. If you reach the place when they see ghosts, if you don't see ghosts, at least your body will shake small. You understand what I'm saying? At least you will get what they call that thing? Goose pimple.
Goosebumps. You see this kind of. You see, hold on, KJ. You see that proverb doesn't make sense.
No, hold on now. I'm telling you,
these kind of proverbs are not like. How do you know?
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
If you go place when you're supposed to see ghosts, see ghosts, at least you will get goosebumps.
Okay.
Now, the reason why Fubara decided to play dumb is that you don't know Wike is. Wike dealt with orderly. Wike dealt with Amechi. Wike dealt with who again? There are about 3 or 4 of them. What's Omeha? Okay, and you think Wike will not deal with you? You didn't. You see, my problem is that the man even fought alone. It's not only coming to make statement.
No. KJ,
see. At least you have gone to consult with these people who are.
Fayose warned him. Fayose warned him. Fayose warned him. Don't offend Wike. If you offend Wike, you're on your own. You warn him well. Say don't.
KJ,
I don't even want to accept that warning because that warning means that Fubara will keep quiet and be carrying the money of KJ, real estate and be given to him. No, I thought he will have gone to consult with these people on what to do. At least Amechi is not a novice in fighting this man.
KJ, this is the afternoon of the battle. Don't judge yet. This is this River State matter. It's not. We are not yet in the night of the battle.
No, we're just beginning. We're just warming up.
This battle, we are just entering 12 noon.
Dexter, you know that the EFCC has a case against Fubara. It was about to be picked up.
No,
So,
yes, when he ran to the River State
yes.
house and
So
house.
they can come to him now and say, you see, we don't. You see this thing, you will go to jail.
No, but they've tied their hands. They've tied their hands. Remember, they said that he was not removed. He's suspended. So
he's removed. What is suspended? He's removed.
No.
You can't remove a governor now. Come on.
You are kidding. Forefathers are kidding.
There's no law. There's no law that says they are allowed.
Forefathers, they there. Make you there. He's not governor now. He's not governor now. He not be governor. You don't even know where he is.
This is he's in Delta State. He's in Delta State.
Some say he's in Bayelsa.
No, either Bayelsa or Delta. I think he's in Delta State.
It's
but
not
anywhere in River State.
Who is saying that?
In River State. Why would he go?
The army went to the government house when he's still there and blocked it. He lives in government house now.
Listen, what I heard, this is not this is from the grapevine, that they are going to present something to him, say, see all your crimes, see your life history.
Yes. You
sign now, resign now. Just make you just resign, JJ, and then you can go free. I will give you soft landing.
I don't have a clear thing.
What's going to happen? You see, what's happening in Nigeria presently? What Tinubu has said. You see, I think Nigeria is on his way to a big reset. That's what I think it is. And you know what Tinubu has done. He has set a very bad precedence. It is necessary.
Who will press the reset button? Who is going to press it?
No, it's Tinubu that will press the reset button. He will reset the system. He will reset the system. You know why? Nigeria set up a very bad precedent. Because let me tell you one of the problems with Nigeria. We cannot cherry pick. Unfortunately, we are in a position where now we cannot actually cherry pick change. Because Nigeria's change cannot just be politicians. Do you understand? The change in Nigeria is not just for politicians anymore. The judiciary is compromised. We're in a position right now in Nigeria whereby all Supreme Court justices actually should be sacked. That is the truth. We are in that position right now in Nigeria whereby all Supreme. Did you hear Jonathan's statements today? Jonathan said it that.
But nobody has power to sack them now.
No, Jonathan said something. He said that the problem, can you wake up? He said it's easier to wake up a man that is sleeping than to wake up a man that is pretending to be sleeping. So if you have a man that is pretending to be sleeping, you know this man is pretending to sleep. Will you go and wake him up? You will not wake him up. That's what Jonathan said today. So the judiciary in Nigeria is pretending. They are seeing they are seeing it, they know, but they are pretending and they are giving out. Oh, do you know? Are you seeing the one that happened in Kano State? Where a senior judge in appeal court gave a judgment, and then a judge that was just made in 2023 in Abuja countered that judgment, threw that judgment away. So that's why I say Nigeria is going on a way to reset. And the reset, the way Nigeria has to reset, it's not to reset by politicians. Politicians will reset, judiciary will reset. Do you understand that? Because if Nigeria resets only maybe politicians, the characters like Wike will still go back. Don't you see the way the bandy Supreme Court has said? Supreme Court has said Supreme Court is the final court, so you must obey it. So once they capture Supreme Court, and that's what's happening, the elections don't count again. Elections don't count because your votes don't count, because you can go and vote the Imo State model. Even if you win an election in Nigeria today, lawfully, somebody can play the whole Uzodinma card on you. And you will, no, but it's true. And this is precedence. And unfortunately, we're having a court system, we're having a judiciary in Nigeria that is happy to entertain political matters. In the country where you're staying in forefathers, in the UK, politicians run away from courts. They don't want to near courts.
And sorry, let me just add this. There are too many angles to this. Like, what I found recently was like the Nigerian system, when somebody's elected into office, even like they didn't even get barely 40%, 30-something percent, 36% of the vote, they govern as if they 100%. Then there is no midterm election. Like in America now, you can come in hot. If Trump now, in a year's time, there will be another election in America, and Americans will just chain his hand. He's not going to be able to do anything. You don't have that in Nigeria. Why?
Because forefathers, let me tell you why. Do you know that before American Constitution was written, it was not just written in a day and given to them. That they went to Europe.
Yeah, but I thought we were running an American system. Why don't we have a midterm?
No, forefathers, we were given a constitution. We did not write our constitution. Before American constitution was written, it took like 6 months. People were preparing. They got some of the best documents from Europe, from Rome.
Hi.
That's how
they gave us the worst of the worst.
So, but
they gave us the worst of the worst.
What happened in Nigeria is that they did.
Who gave you forefather? Who gave you?
Our Mumu leaders now that went and gave us a foreign.
Which Mumu leaders?
They went and copied Oyibo national anthem.
Copy and paste.
The one that did this thing, because look, in America they have a midterm process whereby if a president is behaving like this, you see the Nigerian people will step in and shut him down. They will shut all these lawmakers out.
When I read about American heroes like Hamilton, man, I sat down to myself and say, I don't know anything. If you see the idea this guy was churning out on how, to make sure that the society is governed in a way that everybody will be equal before the law. You ask yourself, is this guy a god or something? But we have the same men. Question we have been asking is, where is Wole Soyinka all this while?
No. Let's leave this Wole Soyinka issue. Let's leave it. Wole Soyinka is compromised. All those people are compromised.
So
all those
where
people
are the leaders?
Those are not the leaders you actually have in Nigeria are the unsung heroes. Gani Fawemi was fighting a battle in 19. No, let me look. All these things. See, where you sow a seed, unfortunately, when you sow a seed, when it comes out, you can't stop it again. This Tinubu saga would have ended in 1999. The same Femi Falana that is against Tinubu today is the one that went to go and defend him. Are you seeing it? He did not know that the thing will come back to bite him. Did he know? That's why you don't stoke evil. You don't stoke evil anywhere. You don't stoke it. Gani Fawemi had nailed Tinubu. Tinubu was not supposed to enter office. He had nailed him. He had brought up all his shenanigans. He was supposed to enter office. It was Wole Soyinka, Femi Falana that went to court. Femi Falana is Wole Soyinka's, Fawemi's close friend. And the truth about it that if Obasanjo had put his leg down, the truth about it, the Supreme Court would have done the right thing. But the Supreme Court was, look, that's why you see that book that this man wrote, Dele Farotimi. It is true. It is true. That thing he wrote. The Supreme Court is compromised.
The signs are indicating that what he wrote.
It is completely compromised. Those guys are politically exposed.
Has anybody heard from Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka?
He cannot say anything. He's
been quiet now.
He's indebted. He is indebted.
Go and answer go answer one man. One man where he is.
He's indebted. Wole Soyinka is indebted to
in
the same way.
Sorry. Let's bring in Mr. James.
Thank you for dealing with him.
Gentleman. He doesn't say anything.
KJ, I love what you did. Thank you for putting him right. He came in and was trying to bully. What's his name? Can you imagine that? You gave it to him, and that was good.
Oh, look at that. Can we try to see? Hold on now. Let's try to
Can you imagine that?
What did he do now? The guy wanted to just have his say. It's good to hear somebody out. You never know what they could reveal. And if you disagree, you are always free to disagree. Let's bring Mr. James in. Mr. James hasn't said anything for a long time. Let's just bring him in.
Hold on. To just say what Obi said, what was my problem with him is saying that he had been here. I did not be. Go and look at what the comments he made on the comment section, in the private comment section. It's not right. I can't come here and be saying, what for I've been here. Why didn't you bring me? And then am I more important than every other person who is here? You wait for your turn. You don't come and begin to direct the person who is there.
You should allow the moderator to hand. Like me, I block him. I can't.
No.
Like me, I don't like him. I block him. I can't even see what he's saying.
You see, again, I've not said anything. If show was being nice,
but you know that sometimes Dr. Damage does that. Like when I don't think this Chukudi or something, when he comes in, some of his people from Sahara reporters when they come in, he gives them a difference.
Maybe not one man.
And one man is an online person too. Like if Dr. Damage goes on his channel, you would expect him to give a little bit of difference to Dr. Damage because
forefather, if I let me go to a one man show, it's like a king coming to that show.
Oh, look at that.
Yes,
so that's a good thing now, isn't it? So apple with orange because you agree with one side. Okay. Welcome, Mr. James. Welcome, Mr. James. I think you've heard a lot about what we've got to say. Is there something you can, I know you said that revolution, is there something you can advise Nigeria? Because like now, I talked about midterm election. That could be one of the ways to stem the excesses of these politicians, so that when they get into office, they are going to be aware that okay, within 2 years they are going to answer to the voters again. You see what I mean? So, what would you say in the Nigerian context will improve accountability and give politicians cause for rethink of their behavior when they are in office? Because right now, they are just planning for 2027. They don't care. In the middle of it, between that, they can do all kinds of mischief. So, what would you recommend?
In the first place, there is no need for elections. I said these things in 2022. Obi is my witness on Symphony TV. There is no need for elections because we've not fixed the country. The country must be properly organized before we go into elections. All the presidential candidates, the leading ones, about the first 4 or 5 of them, they are all compromised. One thing has been running through my mind, and this man they call Abubakar Atiku, he has been a problem to the country. There's a section of the Constitution which says that before you contest election, the presidential election, you must be born in Nigeria. This man was born in the mandated territory in Cameroon. He was not born in Nigeria. That territory was added to Nigeria after independence, at independence or so. So he was not born in Nigeria. But the judiciary made it possible for him to be contesting elections. Now look at it this way. In his own party, PDP, there is rotational presidency. He violated their local rule in their party, and eventually, Wike could not contest. Wike contested, but he was edged out when it was the turn of the South to produce the president. That thing caused a problem within PDP, and that problem is what metamorphosed into those legislators who defected, who supposed to lose their seats. Because if they had then into that problem, there wouldn't have been division in PDP. And if there's no division in PDP, the problem of it would not be as complex as it is today. But when we are analyzing issues, nobody is mentioning the role Abubakar Atiku played. That man has been a problem to the country since he was the director of customs or whatever it is. And his relation, when it comes to deals, there's a man, I think they call it Thomas Jefferson in the US. He has some deals with, and he was barred from in the United States. So this man has been a problem to the country. And now, Obi of all people is not negotiating with this man to form a coalition to remove Mr. Tinubu from office. So what kind of people are they? Now, even the obedience, are they justified to be obedient to Peter Obi? I think the answer is no, because Peter Obi was in what they call a PDP. From PDP moved to AGA, from AGA moved to Labour. Labour is now going back to Atiku, with whom he contested a presidential election.
Oh, he has not confirmed that, sir. That has been in the news. That news they are saying it has been touted, but Peter Obi has not confirmed that.
Excuse me. He has been moving from one party to another. Ideologically, I think that's not ideology. That's why he was able to work with ABGA, he was able to work with PDP, he was able to work with Labour Party, and now he's nowhere to meet. So what exactly is he standing for? Is he a socialist, a welfarist, or whatever it is, a capitalist? We do not know.
All he needed is just a platform to run, that's all.
Good, so this is why at times, although I do not support any of the candidates, but people like Showore, who has stood his ground from the word go, I think people should listen to him. Because for me, I'm not prepared to cast my vote for anybody. This man they call Bola Tinubu, while they were fighting for so-called democracy, people believed in them so much that they think they will take the people to the promised land. Now, what is the guarantee that the present pro-democracy activists, when they get to power, they will not be worse than Bola Tinubu? So this is the situation we find ourselves. So what we have to do is to reorganize the country. This present constitution we are, what we're working with was drafted by a few people. There was no constituent assembly or constitution drafting committee. So this is just some brainless people who put pen on paper to plunge us into this crisis. So we just have to organize the country. That's the way out. There's no need for election. Absolutely no need. If next election, if 2027 election is free and fair, if 2027 election is free and fair, as I always say on this program, put me before the firing squad without trial. If the next election will be free and fair. So what is the need of conducting the election? We need to reorganize the country, or we pack up the country. This is not the first country to scatter. Pakistan scattered. India, sorry, Pakistan and Bangladesh, India and Pakistan, Ethiopia and Eritrea, Bosnia and Herzegovina, former Ottoman Empire. Countries are so these things are coming and going. So if we cannot live together, let's pack up the country instead of people to suffer unnecessarily. This is how I see it.
Thank you. Yeah, this thing without election, I don't know, because the election has never been about really consulting the people. Let's face it. Because if you are consulting the people, the 45% that didn't vote for you, you should still listen to them anyway. It's often about giving the people the idea of continuation of power and having a say in it. And because before now, what do they call it? Power of conflict of succession. It tends to cause a lot of problems for many civilizations. As a matter of fact, part of the advantage Yoruba had over Africans was because before then, Africans often had massive wars of succession. Anytime, like the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, they always had and it cost the nation so much. When the elites fight, it's crazy how societies are formed. Whenever elites fight, the nation suffers a lot. It's really strange. But there are not that many, but yet, if the richest fight in that country, everybody suffers. If you want to dislodge them from power, the nation suffers. Look at all the nations that have gotten rid of their establishment. It often takes a massive revolution. There's something about the way our societies are formed that leads for you to remove the top. A lot has to change. But when you want to deal with any other group, it's easy. But when you want to change the top, a lot, it's like the top, somehow when they get there, there's this incumbency thing that makes them hard to dislodge. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something we need to understand a bit more about.
Sorry, let me just chip in a bit. Somebody on the comment column is saying I should profess solution. The solution is the Constitution is not working. We are organizing ourselves the way the white men organize themselves. We are not Europeans. The Americans, they all migrated from Europe to America. They went with European ideas, customs, and traditions. We are not Europeans. They cannot become Africans. If you bring them here to live the way Africans live, they will run into problems. During the French policy of assimilation, they wanted to create white men out of black men. Here in Senegal, very close to where I live, you see them, they drink wine, coffee, after having their supper. They try to imitate the whites, but they still do the things black men do. They go to native doctors. They marry, they have concubines. They do on European things. So for us to move forward, We, the educated people, I'm not excluding myself, we, the educated people, need to sit down to find out how to govern ourselves. We are no Europeans. And this idea of a few people drafting a constitution for us, this is what Atiku Abubakar did when he was a military head of state. He just got a bunch of, I don't know what to call them, drafted a constitution that has put the country into calamity right now. But as I was saying earlier on, I was given the chance to speak, this is the beginning, probably of the end. Sorry, the end of the beginning. It's not the beginning of the end, it's just the end of the beginning. If we persist to get ourselves well organized, we might get out of this problem. But for as long as we are not organized, that's the solution I'm giving. We must organize ourselves, set out rules and regulations on how we should relate with each other, how we should live with each other. For as long as we do not do that, you go into 2027 election, it's just sheer bloody waste of time and resources. So that is how I see it. People like Atiku, and others, they are taking us nowhere. Surprisingly, there's something I'm planning to internet. As 2023 or so, 2022 or so, Atiku had 31 children. 31 children. In your opinion,
anything wrong with that?
There's everything wrong with it. Did he marry 31 women? How many women did he marry? Did he marry all of them?
No, not necessarily. I guess maybe he did. We don't know that. Do we?
We should not encourage. And
Let's leave his personal life out of it. Some of the best leaders.
Some of us want many wives.
That's his personal life. We should take it on.
But personal slide. Let's leave his personal life out.
I have a problem.
You see why Africa no go change.
I have a problem.
Guys, double down.
You argue over Trump. You talk about his character. Now you don't want to talk about the character of your leaders who have 32 children, and you say it's his personal life. Then let us not talk about other things.
Leaders. There's no leader in the world.
Tinubu didn't have many now.
Look at what he's doing. Don't have issues. There's no perfect one. Let's leave it.
No, now. So there's nothing perfect. Look,
I think we see
that is too personal.
An alcoholic.
That's too personal.
You see,
But
KJ, you are supporting Elon Musk that had 9 children with different mothers. It's still the same thing.
He's not. I'm not supporting him. He's not running for. He's not governing any government.
Trump has many children. Does he know? He has many wives.
He is a
Trump has many wives.
To be fair, what Mr. James is saying is very correct. But another thing is the only part where I would deviate from him. Everything he says is really correct. But the other part I would deviate from him is that I think we should take away, there are some people who expect personalities. Example, Nigerian political party don't have ideology. You understand? If you go to Rome, you live like the Romans. If you go to another place, you live like them. There's no political ideology in Nigeria. So if you are somebody that say you want to be impact on leadership, it won't work. You have to move with the system. Nigerian political parties are conveyor vehicles. They are not ideology driven. So if you come to Nigeria and say, "Oh, I want to come with ideology," and I was thinking, you would really not make any impact on leadership. That is the reality of it. And let us leave personal things. Example, we talk of Atiku. Let us not blame Atiku first of all. Let me just give a little bit of background. It was in Benue State that they decided, when PDP was deciding on zoning, it was, what is his name? It was Wike's friend, Otom, that was leader of that panel. PDP had the opportunity to say, this position of leadership is going to the south, or southwest. They had the opportunity. The same way, when it was going to a northerner, everybody they said it to and nobody from the south contested. PDP had the opportunity to do that, but Wike and Otom, his friend, they said it is open. They said it is open. They did not say it is going to the south. Instead of them to cede that position to the south. They said no. They said it is open for everybody. It was Wike's friend that was the leader of that panel. Now, that was a political tactics. The reason why they did that political tactics was this. Because if it was going to go to the south, there was a very strong argument within PDP that, oh, if we're taking to the south, then ideally we should take it to the southeast. Because the southeast is the only region in PDP that has not experienced the presidency.
Yeah.
However, Wike knew about that. And Wike knew that he had the money. Wike had the money to swing everybody. That was why Wike said, okay, leave it open. So that based on moral, we will not put it based on moral that no Northerner should contest. Let us leave it for the South. In fact, Wike was going to win that primary. Wike was going to win that primary until Tambuwal did his Maradona move to make sure that Atiku won. So let us start the way
that Maradona move is what breaks Wike's Mr. James said. That Maradona move,
Maradona move. It was the same Maradona move that he moved that they said let them not zone it.
That was
is it not the same Maradona move? He said let them. The reason why we can say let them not zone it is because if they had zoned it to the south, based on moral, PDP would have said, oh,
it will have been southeast, right?
It would have been southeast. Wike knew about that. He knew that. So he played, let us make it open. Then based on moral, we'll fight Atiku. We'll fight Atiku off. And Wike was hoping that, okay, since Tambuwal was in the mix, Tambuwal will split their votes. So let us not paint it as if one side is this thing. And let us not paint anybody as if the person is the problem. Atiku was instrumental in making sure that Obasanjo did not get a third-term agenda. You understand? So let us not I don't support Atiku. I'm not supporting it, but let us not demonize anybody.
But that's Atiku also has a blame. Atiku also has a blame because if he had declined, one with the clout that he had in PDP, if he had decided that no, I will not run, let us zone it to the south.
Okay. Let's try to keep it. Hold on, Mr. James was speaking now. Hold on now. Mr. James was speaking. You know he doesn't like all these rough of the. Let him finish. Then when the DC get heated, then we can carry on because we don't have a lot of time. We have to end in 3 hours anyway. Yeah, maybe go ahead, Mr. James.
Maybe I got Mr. Dexter slightly wrong. If I'm wrong, please kindly correct me. Ideology is extremely important because we all talk about Obafemi Awolowo today because he made it clear that he's a socialist. And there's only one area actually he distinguished himself, and that is education. In the whole of Africa, his policy, if not the best, is second to the best education policy in Africa since God knows when. The best that has ever been operated in Africa, in my opinion, is apartheid South Africa. The education for the whites, not the blacks, the whites in South Africa, the education system was unqualified success. Awolowo did his own in Ikene. He didn't go to anywhere. They sat down, worked out the modalities. With socialist ideas, he was able to implement it. And they mind the people they were admitting into their party. They did accept every Tom, Dick, and Harry. If you don't have the same ideas with them, there's no for you. That was his policy. So the ideology is extremely important. This is where I slightly disagree with Obi, moving from one camp to another. If you keep on moving from one camp to another, if he had won the presidential election, this case would have been like that of Balarabe Musa during Shagari's time. Balarabe Musa was PROP, the House was MPN. They could not work together till he was impeached. So what is the guarantee that if Obi should become president of the Republic, he will be able to get along with these scavengers we have in government today? They would have made life impossible for him. So this is how I see it. Maybe I got you wrong. Please kindly correct me if I got you wrong. But ideology,
like I said, I agree with you. I completely agree with what you've said. And I agree with you. All I'm saying is that it's very difficult in a system whereby the rules, there's no rule. Nigeria is a jungle. It's just like if you are doing guerrilla warfare. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you go to a place where there are guerrilla, it's just like when America went to Vietnam to fight the war. America couldn't win because that was guerrilla warfare. America was going structured, structured and organized. The Vietnamese were going, they had tunnels under the ground, all those kind of things. So in Nigeria, if like now, sir, if you with ideology go to contest election in Nigeria, you will contest for, even if you are the best candidate, though, you will contest for maybe 20 years. It will be difficult.
You may actually win. Actually, see the thing about
the electorate are not ready.
No, it's not. I think it depends on. I think no party has planned it coherently, because was it somebody that said it earlier on that the person that where their wealth is accumulated slowly, they are the ones that their wealth go longest. It's like that. You have to build. Most people, it took time. Like in the case of Russia, 14 years altogether from the beginning to when they took over the country. It took 14 years. And but we don't have consistency. We keep jumping from one party, and I think that's a valid criticism from Mr. James that this P2B jumping from one party to another just shows that there is no concrete ideology following him. He's just following the people that want to remove this establishment right now, which we all want to do. It seems like that's the only ideology, which you can argue that it's a valid point.
It's an argument. It's an argument.
I'm just dreaming though. Whether this is a dream or I don't even know. Wike is still PDP. What of 2027? We see Wike, because right now Wike our jack PDP already. His PDP is on his palm. All right. What if you see Wike running against you with 2027?
It's not going to run. It's not going to run.
I was on. You're not. I don't know whether he's cooking some kind of this.
I tell you, because he's still PDP, and now he's in charge of PDP as it is now.
He's not. The truth is that Wike is not done. The idea of him being in charge of PDP is an illusion because Wike has burned bridges already. If you listen to Bode George yesterday,
Tony wants to say something. Tony,
they have no raise your hand. Tony.
Yeah, what I just wanted to just to add something to what James said. The problem with our political parties is that yes, true, they are not ideologically based, but you have a fusion. Usually in every party you have those who are in the center, you have those who are a little bit on the left, you have people on the right. So what you have in our political parties, even though they don't have clear-cut ideological leanings, okay, but you do have within them, those who make up the parties, people who hold different ideas as to how a nation should be run. So that's what you have, and the reason is because we don't strictly the way you have in other places like in America, parties that are ideologically based. So when you see people moving, it's just because you don't have this ideology, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a vision of what where they want to go if leadership is thrust onto them. You will see that what Obi is trying to do is to chart a vision that nobody has ever done before in our politics. One, that it is possible for you to run an election and not spend as much money as we have been spending before. And two, whether he means it or not, but he has come up with issues. There's something you can associate with him. When you talk about Obi, you say, what does Obi stand for? You can say A, B, C, D. Now, you can't find out with some of our politicians or parties, if you ask. For instance, if you ask me, Showore, I want to use Showore's party, for instance. What does Showore's party stand for? What's the ideology of Showore's party?
Yeah.
The person
his ideology is to see all the corrupt politicians buried. It's very clear. I don't know how people can get confused.
But that said, let me also say that the other thing I wanted to say is in connection with what James said. You see, the truth is that he talked about the Constitution. Yes, our constitution is not, there are issues, but there's no constitution that is perfect. Now, if people have been saying, let us, rewrite the constitution, let us redo the constitution and so on. The question that I ask, if you have a perfect constitution, quote and unquote, who are the people who are going to implement the constitution? Are they going to come from heaven? Or are they not the same people that we're seeing now? Are they not the same people? The Akpabios, if you have the best constitution, even as bad as our constitution is, okay, follow the things that are there in the constitution. They have not. They have not. So when we say it's the constitution, we seem to feel that once you have done the new constitution, then everything is going to go well. No, there is something wrong with the people who are operating the constitution.
No,
Tony, would not let the constitution work.
Let me answer your question. What we are saying about the constitution is that the constitution are giving exclusive rights to some part of the country. So that the federal government to hold certain functions from the states. We are simply saying there should be no exclusive right. If a river state can provide electricity for themselves, please allow them have their electricity. Don't say you have to generate it and then feed it to the national grid, then before bringing it back. We are saying that you don't have to say before they start a refinery, they must come and take license from you, for which you used to delay it for the next 10 years. You're not approved it. We are saying allow states to develop their economy the way they want it. We are saying don't say you are this educational disadvantage and then you give your school holiday for 4 months and then you expect that after that you still come and say that you are educational disadvantage. Some of these basic things are there. Okay, now let me give you an example of some of these things that.
What is this 4 months holiday thing you are talking about? I'm not aware of it.
Oh, you don't know the states that are closing schools for because of the fasting?
I don't know about it too.
The constitution is a work in progress. You keep amending, even the American.
No. Sorry. Let's educate some people here, because if I don't know it, I'm sure a lot of people don't know it. What 4 months are we going on holidays in Nigeria? Because if it's not true, let's not say it.
It's 1 month, not 4 months.
It's the fasting. The fasting starts. I just said 4 months because.
Why you see why you don't do that now?
Hold on. For I know you want to now start going on that.
This is have your say.
You want to start going on that
factual session.
That's not where I'm going.
Thank you.
Know what it is. And even if it's for 1 month, is there 1 month correct? Okay, now that they've taken 1 month, since we also are Christians, if we are going on Lent, should we also take our own 4 weeks or 5 weeks, as the case may be? Look, let's not go there because we won't have an end. What I'm trying to say, which you know, is that certain policies are nationwide, and it should not be so. Even in the America that I'm copying from, some people have holidays that other states don't observe. It's just the national holidays that everybody observe. But so many other states have so many other holidays that other states don't bother to observe. And it's not mandatory that you must have to observe it. So, look, we must understand that the Constitution is holding a lot of states from moving as fast as they want to. That's simple. It's not. There's no way to argue about it and get any different results.
Yeah, thank you for that.
What constitution?
And then we'll bring. I think if Mr. James, whenever you want to say something, don't mind. You have to get a little bit rougher with these people, because they are not going to be right.
Let me mention something. Yeah. In Islam, certain people are exempted from fasting. Number 1, old people. Number 2, children. Number 3, travelers. Number 4, women experiencing their monthly problems. These 4 classes of people are exempted from fasting. If you close schools because there's Ramadan, because of Ramadan, the children are sending home are exempted from fasting. They can eat at home to their satisfaction and go to school and return. They have not violated any principle of Islam. So that is just
who will teach them? The teachers when they go to school?
Look, if you are fasting, You need not broadcast it to the whole world that you are fasting. You pretend as if it's okay. You see, fasting is recommended, but it's not, I mean, it's obligatory in Islam.
What is fasting? What does fasting do?
Excuse me.
Hungry.
Certain people, as I've said, are exempted. Like women experiencing their monthly problem. After the fasting period, after your cycle is over, you can now fast at your own pace. So teachers can go to school and fast at their own pace if you want to fast. Now, if the teachers who are sitting at home because of fasting, they are not going to school. Don't they work at home? Don't they take care of their domestic needs at home?
Father, what a benefit of fasting, Steph? I'm not even the benefit of fasting.
No, excuse me, here in Gambia, where I live, this is 90% Muslim. 90% of the people here are Muslims. We still go to work. You get the point? On Fridays, they work half day. Be Ramadan or every Friday is half day. This fasting period, I'm at work at the moment. Close, but I'm still doing my personal, attending to my personal needs, academic needs. So it doesn't necessarily mean that if you are fasting, you should close school. These guys they have no agenda for the people. This is why I'm quarreling with them. When I was in Egypt, the people there, they are Muslims, just like the Muslims in Nigeria. They are highly educated people. Master's degrees holder in Egypt are surplus. So what is the problem with northern Nigeria? They have the mental capability to go to schools. And if they tell you what those guys in the north are doing with their brain, you will marvel. Majority of them have memorized the Quran from cover to cover. If you give them enough pen and paper to reproduce the Quran off head, they can do it. So with that mental capability, they can do quite a lot of things. But their politicians are dragging them down. They're just pulling them down. Jonathan Goodluck built a lot of schools for them. All schools today are ruined. So what are we talking about?
Forefathers, I just want to just keep in one sentence there, if you allow me. You see, Nigeria is a federal republic. We have federating units, and I think that even by that definition, states are allowed. They have some autonomy to run, policies to govern the way they deem fit. So I don't understand this argument. If they choose that they want to close their listing for 1 month, that's their business. I mean, people run if it's okay for them. They should run their states the way they want. That's the whole concept of federation. So I don't think
my brother, the problem is
for government schools. That's a state for government schools.
We have today.
For government schools,
I can do as we want. How come Tinubu can't remove this man from power now?
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. If we are running as a federation, if we are running as a federation, and the states have some autonomy, they should be allowed to run their states the way they deem fit in line with the Constitution. So we have to. These are part of the contradictions that you have in this system. This is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What's a federation? It means that they are federating units, and the units have some autonomy as defined by the Constitution. So if they decide to do so, long as it doesn't interfere with the other parts of the country. So if they decide, for instance, to make laws to govern themselves, it should be within the ambits of the state and the purview of the area that the law covers. So I don't see anything wrong with that. It may not sound nice to you, but if they so decide and the law approves it, there's not anything wrong with that.
Look, my friend, the problem is this. If you say that they should organize themselves the way according to federal law, that is fine. But remember that these terrorists we have today, these headers and what's it called? Destroying the whole country today is a direct product of illiteracy. When Awolowo declared universal primary education in the West in the 50s, where were they? The Igbos, there was no such declaration, but through personal effort, family initiative, they tried to bridge the gap Awolowo was creating in the West. What did they do? You get the point? It is because they refuse to educate the people. That is why they are running into a problem today. In the whole of North Africa, if not for the problem in Libya, they are at peace with themselves. They are also Muslims like the Northerners. I mean, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Egypt. If not for the problem Libya had with the West, the whole of them were, they are prospering. So what is the matter? What is wrong?
North Africa is well ahead of most.
So you need to go to North Africa, because at least I've been to Egypt. The people there, they are as westernized as what's it called, the Western people, or they still practice their Islam in their own way.
There are certain things that are in the concurrent list, and there are certain things that are, things that belong to the federal government that is by law that they should do, and there are those that the states and the local governments are, have authorized by constitution to do. So if we properly delineate those things, I don't think there will be a problem. If a state chooses to go on free education, it's not the business of another state. If a state chooses to...
It's your business. You will not know peace in the South. You will not know peace as long as...
No, actually, some states do free education in Nigeria now, while others don't now.
So what's the problem?
Mandatory. Education should be mandatory. You state, federal government. Education should become, in the world we live in today, the whole world is not a global village.
No. What the Constitution of Nigeria makes mandatory is free and primary education. And even by the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of this thing, that's what it says. Everybody is at least supposed to, have primary education by right, by constitution. That's what the federal government. That's what is in the Constitution. Universal basic education. That's what the Constitution. But when it comes to secondary and tertiary, that's absolutely between the state and the federal. You can.
But in Nigeria, actually, the states do show a lot of federalism kind of traits. Like the states are not run the same. Lagos is not run like Port Harcourt. Now Zamfara is not run like Abuja. Nigeria has a lot of differences.
Yeah.
What I see the pattern in Nigeria is that anything that leads to our progress, they tend to try to kill it. Look at the Agboti is under threat because one, she is one of the only voices that are pushing that Ajekuta steel stuff. El-Rufai, that was very, very hawkish about Nigerian security. He was the one that went to Chatham House to talk about this thing, recruiting into our security forces, just like North Africans have. But guess what? Where is he in government now? How did he disagree with Tinubu that somebody means that he cannot be part of the government? He's been sidelined. Rivers State that was having peace, having trouble. Then Dangote that should be getting crude oil from Nigeria, not getting it. It's like anything that helps the country, these politicians sitting there and they just keep trying to kill it and remove it out of the way. And why they just eat on their stupid money that doesn't even feed them very well. They are, in 2023, they had $40-something billion of national budget to share. This year, was it this year or just late last year? They had $28 billion. These Mumu people, they are impoverishing themselves too. They don't even have a lot of money to steal. They have the money that they can steal. That's how useless they are. But we are unique. Nigerians are really unique at killing themselves. Even the rich are so mumuish in their behavior. Thank goodness that we have some people that are trying to do the right thing, and we hope that they like Poti now. She's used to fighting. I get the feeling that she's going to emerge at the end of this, and I also get the feeling that Tinubu, what he has done, if he doesn't repay it, it's going to damage him, and he's not going to get away with it one way or the other. I don't think he's going to get away with this if he doesn't repay it. He's now carried the trouble of Wike. He's carried it on his head. See, he decided to carry this stuff. Now, if Fubara falls, it's on him. It's on him. It's not on Wike anymore now. But that's the wahala he's going to put it on his head. And so now that brings us to somebody touched on it earlier on. about Atiku, El-Rufai, P2B. These guys, if you put Kwankwaso in there, they got
what to be there?
20% of the vote. Pardon?
What to be there?
I gather that he was part of the, although he wasn't there in the last one, but he was part of it. You see, when I was saying it the last time that Atiku may actually back P2B, and a lot of people like One Man and people on his channel, they were like saying it's impossible. Atiku will not back P2B. Atiku is still all in, he wants himself to be the guy. I'm telling you, Atiku, he likes to be president, but I think he's done on him. His chances are.
Don't need to be there first. Need to be there first.
I think P2B, if they say P2B will be the flag bearer, he will go. No, if P2B is chosen as the flag bearer, do you think he will not go? If they give him that ticket? Oh, look at that.
Father, is the only way is a certain president they want to form a coalition?
They did it for another president too. Now, what is your wahala? They did it
my
for.
wahala is that Buhari rule for 8 years here. It's a haram to like talk about to form a coalition. When Jonathan was there, the same thing happened. They started again. They have started gathering like ants again. Right? Try to do a certain president. It's not going to happen this time around.
So, but they formed a coalition to get Buhari elected. They formed the coalition to get Buhari elected.
No. To remove Jonathan. Hey.
To remove Jonathan is still the same thing. To get Buhari elected and remove Jonathan. So it's the same thing. So you don't want Buhari. Calm down now. You don't want Tinubu to be removed.
Removed for what? They will be there.
Maybe P2B.
Who will be there?
What is wrong with P2B being there? I don't know why you're arguing against me. I don't know. I think P2B is better than
they are not gathering for their own interest.
Better than Tinubu now.
They are not gathering for their own interest. It's for their own interest they are gathering. See who is gathering. El-Rufai, Atiku. That people are gathering. Their own interest.
Yeah, they are not exactly the nicest people.
What is part to tell me them? Those guys that economics.
While you people are here arguing about Wike is being given other doctorate degree in law, University of Calabar.
Wow, they are still giving doctorate degree.
And he's a live venture. Meanwhile, he has never gone to court.
He has never gone to court. He has not gone to court, but he's manipulating everything behind the court. You know,
wow.
the lady justice in Nigeria is a Wike's sister. So that is
his wife is also
justice.
Did anyone see the video of the Nigerian soldiers that got that were executed recently? I think I was informed that the video was not very nice. They were executed by terrorists in Nigeria.
I don't think you should see it. I saw it, but I didn't look at the video. I can send it to you if you want.
No, sir.
Yeah, send it to me. You see, the thing is, this is one of the things I was highlighting. You see how
I don't think you want to look at it.
How much force Nigeria has to use to defend the South. This is why they don't have that much to defend the North. We never had enough manpower. And people are saying we have enough. We should. No, we never did. Because if nobody's in the South, who's going to protect the oil pipelines and all this stuff?
What I said is not true. Go and listen to all these people who have fought, the people who have fought, and the treatment of the soldiers vis-a-vis the one they give to the people who are repentant. Meanwhile, the repentant people are the ones shooting them down. So, my brother, Nigeria is complex.
Man. It's not the repentant ones that are killing them. Why are you always trying to exaggerate stuff? It's not the repentant ones. They are terrorists. I swap. Like really deep terrorists are the ones that are.
So let us
those guys.
take it that I'm lying. Let us now examine what is going on. Let us examine what's going on now. Is there any other country in the world where you have repentant terrorists that are recruited into their army? The best one you can think about.
I'm not sure they are recruited into the army. Again, we shouldn't be saying these things. It's not accurate.
You, boy. You see, just like I said about you're not even seeing the video, but you're already arguing.
No, because do you know why I'm saying it? Because I looked into it. What I found was that they were recruiting them into state forces. That they did within the state, not the Nigerian military itself.
Have you listened to the army recruit that was what they call it, summary dismissed. Have you listened to the video that he talked about on the interview he gave? He posted on this, and the ones
No,
suffering
I
boys are
haven't.
doing after him. So then you see, the thing is that
What
there's
did
so
he
much.
say?
Go look for it. When you find it, you hear what he has said. But
Yeah.
all I'm telling you is that we are not doing ourselves justice as long as we keep doing these things. The people who are in IDPs were dislodged by these people, these so-called terrorist farmers, and yet they are not giving money. But you take Nigerian resources, you train the people who have dislodged them, buy their people, rape their women, you buy them uniform, give them, luxury apartments, and give them Nigerian money. But the people they dislodged are in IDPs and are still there, and you are paying them. You are paying the people you have rehabilitated every month to do what? How do you even look at it? How do you judge it? How does it make sense to
I
anybody?
think it started from the south of Nigeria. If you look at the Niger Delta youths that were fighting, they decided, no, it's a fact. Let's not act as if we don't see these things. And I complained about it. I said, if a state keep rewarding people that have caused chaos, don't be surprised some other people think that is the way to go to, because that's what they did. They send them overseas. They gave them education. They gave them payments.
No, you see, the Niger Delta people, much as I don't support them, they did not drive anybody from their community. They did not. I don't know. They did not drive anybody from their community. So they were living together with people. What they were after was oil bunkering. They did not buy any of their people. They did not rape any of their women, because these are the same people who are their own people. So I don't know where you get those information from. Now, the only reason why that was done was because these people are proven to be more. I told you people I did an interview in a place called Ede Ishekiri, which is like 30 minutes into the Atlantic. And when I got there, the things what the boys first told us, that if we're not going to give them money, they will take us into this sea, and they're ready to be inside this sea for 1 week. Can we do that? We say, make a no verse. We are people like you people. Now, can you hear me still? Yeah. So
yes.
Now, what am I trying to say? I'm simply saying that these people are totally different. Let me tell you something for further. And take it to the bank. The only reason why this is going on, this so-called Fubara is going on, because those boys don't want to react. If they react, if you like, bring the whole Nigerian army to the creek, they will not stand it. It has happened before. It has happened before. So let us not give them one kind, make it look as if the Nigeria. No. Because are you ready to go and spend 1 week inside sea?
KJ, if the Nigerian army could do that, why are they taking Tita and this one, giving them
I don't know what
you employ civilians to go and protect your pipelines when you have civil defense, you have military people, and so does it make sense? Which country does that? Which country does that?
That goes to the point that I'm making, that your military is not large enough, yet you see the kind of contradiction many of our Nigerians have.
Do you know that they have to
go outside the military to go and, they have but they have to go outside.
And they are allowed to carry a lot
enough. Even that is not enough. That's what they call it. When you check the military size of Nigeria, that's what they call paramilitary. All those lower ones, they are considered part of Nigerian military. Civil defense, all those groups, they call paramilitary. The issue is that if you don't have enough manpower to take over space from criminals, don't be surprised criminals show up. And there are many of them are protecting the South. And now you can see that man that said that thing was correct when he said 80% of our military is securing national assets.
Do you know
Lagos is a national asset, massive one.
Forefather, do you know any of the military, civil defense, some part of Mopo police that is in Greek? They are all millionaires. You know that?
Yeah.
They are all millionaires. So they pay to go to South Niger Delta. They are all millionaires. Millionaires, some of them in dollars. That how you
can be millionaires and you still do your job.
And then I tell you, right, as Tony said, Nigerian military cannot go to Greek and face these guys. it's going to be bloody. These guys is not what Boko Haram have. They have though. Boko Haram have chakabula, cock and shoot. Those guys have what you call to face the Nigerian military.
Thank you.
Yeah, if they face Nigeria, if they face those people, if those people fight them outright, it's going to be hard to defeat them.
Let us go back to the reason why Yaradua opted for amnesty. It's not because of the security advice given to him by the British this thing. He said to go by himself. He was told that if you go there, people are going to just go and embarrass yourself. So let's leave these things. You see, there are certain things we don't talk on this air because all of us are.
I'm still comparing Boko Haram and Niger Delta. This thing.
They are not the same thing.
They are not the same at all.
Of course, they are not the same thing. Nobody said they were the same thing.
You just said it, you know?
No. I said they are the same in the sense that if somebody commits crime and they defy the state's orders, and in the end, the way to resolve that crisis resulted in them compensating those people, don't be surprised some other people do it. Something similar, defy the state and expect to get rewarded by it.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, Forefather. What is the crime of the people of the Niger Delta?
There were soldiers that were killed. Civilians lost their lives.
Why were the soldiers killed?
Because there was a conflict that the militants believed that they should give them, which is a fair thing, that they should give them a share of their natural resources.
When was the last time you went to the creeks, the Niger Delta Creek?
Been a while since I've been to Port Harcourt, so
have you been there? Have you been there?
I don't know why. Why do I have to go there? I don't understand.
KJ, you are going too far.
KJ hasn't gone there. I don't know why he's talking. He has not been to the creeks. Have you ever walked in the creeks yourself?
Forefathers.
Do you know why I'm asking those things? I went there. I wept. Look. People wake up in the morning.
I've seen that too.
They have nowhere to go to. They don't even have water to fish and drink. The fishes are all gone. They are surrounded by the ocean. The only thing they have in their place is ogogoro. Ogogoro they drink there.
You see, that's just cliche now that people like to spread.
And
by the way, hold on. See you see now I take that personal. You went too far. Because that's the kind of stuff. Hold on. You went too far there. You
see, you are trying to put words in my mouth now. That's what you do, and I
don't bring that Ogogoro talk here.
The only thing open to them is that because they distill it. That's the only thing they can get. There is no land to farm. There is nowhere to get anything.
See, don't do that. See,
hey,
sorry. Let me finish.
All of us are listening. The contest you are trying to push now. That's not where
No. Let me deal with KJ, please. Why you not letting me deal with KJ?
No.
You can't let him say something that you interrupt me not to reply to him.
Wait,
that's you are playing defense.
Before you reply him,
don't do that.
Let me just ask you a question, Forefathers. Okwama community is being ravaged till now. Do you understand? Okwama community was raised down because there was killing of Nigerian soldiers. Are you aware that in Yobe State, Nigerian soldiers were executed on TikTok? In Yobe State, just this week that passed, Nigerian soldiers were executed openly on social media.
Oh my God. Where is the question?
The question is this: how come Yobe State was not raised down? That community in Yobe State where the military.
You were not born.
Can you finish the question, or you're going to keep repeating it so that you get the answer you want?
The question you are talking about, apples and oranges.
Okay, you are supposed to ask a question so that I reply to KJ. You are playing defense now. You are being disingenuous. Okay, you've asked your question. Let me answer it now. One, the people that did this stuff in the Niger Delta is considered to be people of Niger Delta. The people that did this stuff in Yobe are considered to be ISWAP terrorists. There's a slight difference there. These people range all over the northern part of Nigeria. Secondly, regarding what KJ said that I really find disturbing, because I hear some people say certain things about people in Niger and this in Middle Belt. And I've checked videos online about this, where they said some Middle Belt people, they give their wives to strangers or, to entertain the strangers. And that is false. And the same thing you are doing now, where you come here and say, oh, people in the South, all that left to them is Ogogoro and River. That is false too. And you see people, they come, and the other day I heard somebody was saying, I think I don't want to mention names. He was saying that people in Port Harcourt, that even if Ijaw are just 1%, even if Ijaw are just a small group, and there is the other people, minorities are just small, that they too should have their turn to rule. You see, you are talking as if you are supporting those people, but in reality, you are minimizing them.
Forefather, you are just
hold on. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point, please. You are minimizing them. It's condescending. One, what that person was saying is similar to what you did today. That person was trying to undermine the fact that the minorities make up the majority in Rivers State. The so-called minorities, the Ijaw, if you want to, and all of them classify themselves as Ijaw, but if you want to separate them, like Okreka, Bonny, and if you put them together, they are the majority in the state. And that guy was trying to make them look like they are tiny. The same thing KJ is doing now. He's saying he's supporting the Ijaw people. But hold on, now he's saying he's supporting the Ijaw people. At the same time, he's minimizing them, saying they are Gogo drinkers and only water is what they have. But that is not true.
We are following what he was saying now. Just
let me even correct him.
No, but it's not fair. You shouldn't do that. If you are supporting people, support people with your whole heart. Don't try to minimize them.
Excuse me. If we are talking about Niger Delta, are you the only person? Am I not from Niger Delta? Is Abia State not part of Niger Delta? Is Abia State not part of Niger Delta?
Then don't try to see. Don't try to be disingenuous. Don't try to be disingenuous. Don't act as if you are the only one that been to a creek.
Forefather.
And I want to answer somebody who. One second, Uzo.
Just give me a minute. Let me direct Forefather.
I want to answer somebody who said, tell me I should tell them where I went to in the
Obi hasn't said anything. No.
Let me tell you, if you want to know whoever that person is, if you go to Warri, when you get to Warri, there's a place called Big Warri. When you get to Big Warri, you take the flying boat. You go to a place called Ide Shekiri. That's the beginning of Shekiri. It's 30 minutes into the Atlantic Ocean. My brother, I don't think when they ask me that question, they ever go there. Because when I go there, I know saying I go carry me go, go carry me come. You don't know. I don't want to tell that story. So please, don't. When we come here, some of us have these things at the back of our hands. We have done this thing for years. And so I'm not here to try to.
I know about the creeks. This conversation came from.
Let me say this.
Okay,
all right.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. Sometimes we amplify things that somebody says something, we amplify it and make it look like I run away with it. We are following what KJ was saying. What me understand, he was trying to tell you that they destroyed the whole of Ijaw land and left just for them. What they have left.
I tell them Okogoro is all that.
What they have left.
The other one is they are sleeping with their wives.
Hold on now. What they have, they destroy everything, fish, farmland, everything. What they have left is that one. I don't want to call the name before you got offended now. And you are coming from people always saying what this will know how to do is look at Okogoro. He come with that mindset also, all right?
Yeah, because it's wrong. It's not true. It's inaccurate. You can't say that's all they have.
But my point is, I don't know where KJ was pushing to. He was telling us that in that place,
he's creating a narrative, a stereotype.
I have my in-law there. They destroyed their farm, which this is only what is left in that area, which is very bad. That was the reason pushing. So let's somehow.
See, I've met a lot of people from that region. Even while I operate sometimes in Abuja. I've never met any of them that is like craving Ogogoro. And this type of stuff we do is very damaging when we just stereotype people and we come online and we do it. And when you check in that region now, it's not necessarily going to be as people say. If you go there and check yourself, you're not going to see people just drinking Ogogoro everywhere.
Forefathers.
See, that they've started though. They've started now.
Forefathers, I think Uzo has
who says that? They didn't say anything about Igbo people. Nobody. If anybody dared to say something about Igbo people, like, oh, Igbo people are doing this, you people are going like, you hate Igbo.
No,
Igbo
phobia. They will say that
Igbo phobia will never end. That's what you're going to do if somebody says that. So it's not nice. It's not nice to be minimizing the people.
So, foreigners, I don't think that KJ was trying to make a derogatory remark about his jaws or his nose. I don't think that is what he's saying. I think what he's trying to say is that they cannot
Look at
fish. They
somebody
can't
that is
drink
from there
water.
now. What the person is agreeing. The person agrees. The person is from there. You can't you can say one thing without trying to stereotype the people.
Yeah, so let's leave that. You know, if you do, if that offended you, I'm sorry about that. But I think what is the point he's trying to make is that the environment has been totally degraded. That they can't do anything. There's nothing. They can't drink water. They can't
No,
fish.
you just as a drink. Oh.
And
Hey.
nothing. You know, so I think
You see that? You see that?
so,
You see this Mr. Rofo is here now. He's doing it again now.
that's
Eh?
what he's trying
That's the drink of the drink.
not
The girlfriend with the shack, oh, no be small.
it is
Nigerians drink every weekend. Let's face it, Nigerians drink every weekend. They go for wakekeeping and they are drinking. That's
so.
what Nigerians do.
And the Ogogoro is not peculiar. Ogogoro is not peculiar to just alone.
Thank you.
No. It's like it's
Look
a
at that, look at that.
One man answered them. People man they eat the dog. You know other people answered the name. They know who eat the most dog in Nigeria.
In my
You can
me,
say they
I
live,
want- I want to
they
ask
live there with
forefather. I
mosquito.
want to
There's
ask
so many
forefather.
things they live them with.
Forefather.
Not only
in my place,
Forefather.
if you call a meeting in my place and you
is
bring
there-
salt, you
is there any meeting?
bring mineral,
There-
and
is
Ogogoro is not there. Yeah, you have not started.
If you go
Exactly.
marry yourself, you don't get a snap. Come,
Is
sorry,
there
go back.
any meeting in Igbo land where it's a serious meeting that you don't have Ogogoro sitting on the table? Is there anyone?
Yeah,
So when
but
you
I've
guys
never
go-
heard you say
go-
that
go-
Buhari government left Southeast with the Gogoro.
It's Niger Delta only for you people. Abia State, not part of
But I've
Niger.
never heard you say
It's Abia
Buhari
State,
left
not part of
Southeast with the
Niger.
Gogoro.
But
Did
let
you
me
say
tell you the
that?
truth, eh?
Why
Let me
is
tell
he
you
only
the
the
truth.
South?
See, forefather, when
Yes.
I went to marry my wife from Ebuama, all right? For real, if now I buy the best, let me say refined snap, refined one, I have to buy bottled water, all right? To create the water, I think I buy the product. Original way, not all this akrako. I know they drink and go relax. You know they that
Yeah,
life.
it's a shame though. It's a shame. All good things must come to an end.
Yeah, now good things now. What I want to tell you again, all right?
But
In
wait,
Nigeria community,
I want to let you know that in 3 hours we have to round up.
Let me tell you something. We that grow in Nigeria, right? Sometimes we joke with everything. That's why what I tell you is it's very hard for Nigeria to call serious case. Everything they joke with it. So the great word, you're just saying it. That's how you go, they will just laugh at you and just push you out and say, well, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's very hard for Nigeria to even fight a war among themselves. They can do blah, 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 blah. But
yeah,
it's very hard.
Mr. James.
Too much.
Yeah, I think our closing time is coincided with Mr. James' timeline in Gambia, peaceful Gambia, nice country. And Obi seems to have been a spectator today, which is not fair. We have been very, very unfair to OBE. You know, in the UK, it's a title, OBE, a title, the Order of British Empire. That's what it represents, a title. So thank you for coming in. We are going to be running up in about 8 minutes, and we didn't get a chance to talk about Ondo protest killings. I hope they do something to ensure that stops. That is where they should be looking at declaring national emergency, actually. And our hearts goes out to all those family members that have lost their loved ones in the hands of terrorists that nobody is declaring state of emergency against.
The gods are angry with that.
They are not declaring. Personally, that is where they should declare state of emergency against. There's a lot of Nigerians dying out there that nobody talks about. I know one that died and nobody read his news, and he died working for the Nigerian state regarding all these security issues. So there are a lot of people that are dying in Nigeria fighting to protect that country that nobody hears about. And to the family members that are losing loved ones, hopefully someday somebody will remember you for the sacrifices you are making. Because in Nigeria right now, it's almost as if you're dying for nothing. That is how it feels. That they're just dying, nobody's recognizing them, nobody's backing them up. They are just leaving them to fight an unwinnable war. But it is what it is. Obe, do you want to say something to Nigerians regarding all the, I'm sure you heard of all the drama that was going on in Nigeria, and you must have been very upset with some of them. So what do you have to say to Nigerians? It's a shame because we are going to be rounding up soon, and the others will say their piece too before we go.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, anyways, and we tend to just putting our hands, seeing this country begin to unfold and like folding up. It's like from one atrocity to the other, and it's like the Nigerian populace had now been so used to it that they just allow everything goes. I could see the resistance during the military rule. It's even more than now that you have a Jagaban who looks health-wise not even strong, can do and undo, and nobody talks. It's like the juju he's using on us is just getting away with it. Who is this guy called Wike that is just making enemies all over the country and is surviving it because he got a ministerial position, and everybody just fold his arm and relax. Then you look at the issue of NYSC, a lady who was just voicing her own frustration. At the end of the day, does it mean that this approval of this money has already been approved since and they were not being paid? Why? Nobody investigate. It will just pass. Everything will just pass. That is the reason they are doing more, because everything is passing. Everything is just passing. That means they will just carry hammer and just hit whatever, and the so-called PDP cannot hold that Senate House to ransom so that thing will not be passed. All of them will just keep quiet because prayers have been sent to their emails. It's very sad that if I heard earlier in the day that my brother had to go and take the passport of his citizenship of his country because he had vowed not to do it before, but out of the frustration, it's gone that far. People like us, we already do get ours and hold it and begin to stop the embarrassment of green passport everywhere in the world. It's so unfortunate, and we just like we now like caged people. I remember when I was in university during Babangida must go. I could imagine the whole country was sealed down. Where is NAS today? NAS has become another political environment where they just settle them with money and NAS just keep quiet. Instead, all of them are doing Yahoo. Everybody's surviving, doing online business, that they whatever TikTok thing, and they think that is life. Let me tell you guys, we're not going back to any country. There's no country to go back to. I'm telling you guys, there's nowhere to go back to. We are going to just be here at the end of the day, because each day unfolding is getting worse. They are just deteriorating as the day goes by. That is exactly what it is today. For you to declare a state of emergency in the same ideology you had fought against in all your life and said, no, this is not right. And you are there now, you are doing it, and you are looking and nobody can do me anything. And nobody could do him anything. And it just passed. Everything is just passing. My brother, we are messed up. We really messed up, and it's rather unfortunate that you can't even fight the system. I was in Nigeria in February. When I got there, you look at my Ondo State, it just turned to one Agbero, whatever. Every structure that Obaseki had built. When I was in Ring Road, I was browsing on Wi-Fi. When I was in Ring Road, I was browsing on Wi-Fi. I said this thing is existing here, and people think that it's to dig gutter to build road that is infrastructure. Everybody just the guy priority was making the state looks like what's supposed to be. They don't understand that.
Thank you.
Instead, they came back
I'm
now.
sorry you didn't get a chance to express yourself very well.
It's unfortunate.
And next time, what we are going to do, because I feel like we can say all these things in 1 hour. We can say it in 3 hours. We can say it in 11 hours. It's interesting, isn't it? Because P.S. Morgan can host a show for 1 hour and a lot can be gotten out. So But in my own case, I feel like in the case of Nigerians, we probably need to have longer conversations because there's a lot of things a lot of us overseas have to say, and we don't get a lot of chance to say them while we are busy dealing with our daily life. So I will be looking for a way to extend the session, even if it's on just through Nigeria, because there is a program to ensure this is like P.S. Morgan, professional. You do it, you close out. That's how it's meant to be. But I feel like Nigerians feel they need space to be able to express themselves a bit more. So I will be extending it to somewhere else, and that will be an arrangement we are going to be putting in place. But apart from that, gentlemen, you have all spoken very well today. Dexter, today, one of your, I don't know, man. Nigerians, I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing it different, but I feel like the way you guys are analyzing this information, there is a sense of depth in it that, people are getting enriched from. And I really appreciate you guys coming into the clearly everything I've said doesn't include KJ. I just have to make that clear. So we appreciate everything you all are doing, Tony, Mr. James. I learned about the what Napoleon Bonaparte, what he did, and Uzo. Thank you for joining us. Obey, I appreciate your contribution, even if it was late. And Dexter, very, very in-depth analysis of what happened in River State and what Jonathan's wife did to get Wike in office. Jonathan, I see patterns of somebody that wanted to help the people come together without playing all these games. That maybe he may come across as weak, but every time I hear testimonies about him, you don't see him being a bigoted person. He seems to want to bring people together. But it's a shame when the others come in, they want to act crazy. And Dexter brought that information out here. And I really appreciate you. And Guy Wenlele, I can see what you did in the chat there, Bad Bele. And KJ, obviously. KJ is a host now. Don't take this out of me tomorrow. You're going to be hosting tomorrow. KJ is a host. So, but clearly KJ is a valuable. He's a journalist. He has, apart from I like to just KJ. KJ is a very good sportsman. He's an in-depth journalist that has his own beliefs and in-depth analysis on his way of thinking. A lot of people agree with him. So even if I disagree with him on many things, we do agree on Trump on many levels. So KJ, I thank you for coming in and
a Biafran, a Trump supporter, correct?
Yeah, and he didn't support Peter Obi. Just in case people should know that he didn't support Peter Obi. We have to be aware of who we are watching here. So, Guy Walele, I see you. Guy Walele, all these bad belly people calling me Akpabio. What have I done to be Akpabio? All these bad belly, this is the chat people. I'm going to see you guys. I have to close out for now. Till next time, guys. Goodbye and God bless. God bless. I'm not a God bless person, but be blessed by the Creator. All right, let's put it that way. So it doesn't look like I'm Christian or anything like that.
Depend with your God. Depend with your God, man.
Yeah, God bless is a good thing. Actually, I don't think it's a
good thing. Yeah, depend with your God.
Whoever your God
is, religion.
He should bless you. Isn't it?
He should bless you.
Yeah, whoever your God is, He should bless you. The Creator should bless all of us and hope that we'll be better.
Anything you call it.
Look at them calling me a
If it's a computer, it's your God. Let it bless you with information.
Yeah. Till next time. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Father